Welcome to Hartley Football Game Day. It's being brought to you by Hutta and Price Orthodontics.
Have you ever looked forward to going to any type of a doctor? Well, neither have I, but let me tell you, I do look forward to seeing Doctors Hutta and Price when I go to their practice. You know why? Well, it's as Dr. Hutta says. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And at Hutta and Price Orthodontics, you will know that they care from the very first visit. To find out the services that they provide or to set up a consultation, just go to their website at lovethatsmile.net.
Last week, the Bishop Hartley Hawks closed out the regular season with a win, 41-27 over Bishop Watterson. With that victory, the Hawks win the CCL title as they went 3-0 in the conference on the year. Bishop Hartley was led by the same three guys that have led them offensively throughout the course of the entire season. Niall Johnson, he ran for over 100 yards. Trey Saunders ran for over 100 yards, had even more yards when it came to pass receiving. And speaking of passing, Peyton Underwood completed more than 80% of his passes, and he threw for one touchdown. These guys have been stalwarts throughout the course of the season. Week in and week out, they have been there. They've delivered the big plays, and they have delivered the small plays that lead to big wins. The Hawks defensively also played very well. They made stops when they had to make them. As a matter of fact, at one point, Bishop Watterson led in the game, and then the Hawks were able to come back, get the football, turn it into points, and walk away with a rather easy and lopsided victory. Now it is time for the state playoffs to begin, and the Hartley Hawks, who finished 8-2 on the year, go back to 0-0. And this week, they take on the Panthers of Miami Trace at Jack Ryan Field. Right now, let's bring in the head coach of the Hartley Hawks, Brad Birchfield. Brad, last week you finished off the regular season by winning the CCL with a 3-0 record, and you did that by beating Watterson 41-27. Now, that's a game that was a little bit closer at times than the score indicates, but your team was able to pull away late. And I was thinking about the fact that you talk about a lot wanting to get stronger as the game goes on. So did you feel that that was one of those games where your team did get stronger as it went along?
Sure. And if you look, they had us a little bit on the ropes in the third quarter. I think they took 27-20 lead in the third quarter. And then we just kind of dominated from there on. 3 and outs on defense. Offense was unstoppable. You know, we had the ball at the end of the game. Everybody says, man, the game could have been, it was close. You know, we were downing it on the 5-yard line at the end of the game. So I felt like we had pretty good control, with the exception of that time in the third quarter when they came at us pretty hard, and their quarterback, we had a tough time, made some huge plays. But we did get better in the fourth quarter, and we did dominate it there at the end, and it was a great feeling. Listen, we took Watterson's best shot. They got a good football team. They put a lot into beating us. There's no question about that. They're well coached. Their kids play hard. And it's a win that you really come back and you're really proud of.
Would you agree the turning point of that game was, as you mentioned, you were down, and then Peyton Underwood throws what looks to be an interception that gets returned, and all of a sudden there's a flag laying on the field. They rule pass interference, so the interception is wiped out. You take the 15-yard penalty. The very next play, hand it off all the way down the field, a rushing touchdown, and it swings it. Was that the key for you?
Oh, no question. Although, as I said to the team Monday, if we'd have gone down 14, we'd have battled back from 14. We felt like that was what we wanted to do, or what we were planning to do, certainly. But I try my best to not get into officiating and what's a call, what's not a call. We're going to roll with whatever's on the field and play football. But their sideline, all due respect, didn't do much complaining. So that kind of said that, he probably grabbed him, and it looked like he grabbed him. Looked like it was a great call. That's a great officiating crew. So it looked like a great call, or it looked like the accurate call. And obviously that's how you want to take Trey away, right? You want to grab him, and when the ball's in the air, you want to grab him and throw him and all that kind of stuff. So I thought it was, no question, it was a turning point, but I thought it was the accurate call as well.
Throughout the season, we've talked about Trey Saunders, how important he is to your team, so many things that he can do. When you did fall behind in that game, part of the reason was you were stuck inside of your own zone. And this is the only thing I've seen Trey do this a couple of times this year in returning kicks. I know he's returned kicks for touchdowns, but he's also muffed a couple of kicks. And there were 2 in a row there where you wound up starting just outside your own goal line. Even one time had a punt right off the goal line. I know you don't go over special teams a lot in your practices, but I am wondering, as you're headed to the playoffs now, and every little mistake could cost you a game and a season, did you work on that any more this year or this week? I mean,
Yeah, you need to work on it. You need to keep it. It's hard because you don't want to tell creative players. You don't want to put them within parameters. So it is a little bit of a challenge. Trey is such a creative football player. He's able to do so many things. You got to live with whatever the bad may be, the bad, even when it's not going to be that bad. He can get us out of those situations. So that's part of football. Mistakes happen. Bad plays happen, where I learned a lesson in coaching when I first got to Hartley. So I had been a head coach for 5 years before coming here. And I was the coach that if a kid made a mistake, I would take him out of the game and I wouldn't put him back in. I'd really punish them for making a mistake. That way they knew never to make the mistake. And the AD at the time, Dave Thompson, told me in his nice way, he said, when that happens, the kids are afraid to ever do anything because they don't want to make a mistake. And I've always remembered that. And we don't ever take a kid out and not put them back in for a mistake kind of thing. Now, listen, if they have struggling doing something, we need to change what we're doing. But you got to let kids play through it a little bit. And I think that's what it did. And, nobody, after the game he had, nobody remembers those. But certainly we got to work on them, make sure we keep improving. Nobody's going to want to punt Trey. Nobody's going to want to punt or kick Trey the ball, Right. So there's a double-edged sword. I hope people are saying this guy might fumble it, so we're going to kick it to him. I'm hoping they say that.
Right. And to be quite honest with you, there's a lot of judgment. There's a lot of things that go into receiving those balls back there. And I think unless you've been standing in that position, it looks like it's an easy thing, right? Because there's not really anybody on top of you most times, but they're coming, and that they're coming. And you're trying to look up. In that night, there was a little bit of rain too, so you're looking up into a dark sky, trying to track this football, make the catch, and figure out which first step you have to take before you get crushed.
Yeah, 19 years as a head coach, one thing I know I've never said is, this is how I would have done it. This is how I did it. This is how. So,
yeah, it's a lot tougher job than it seems to be. But your offense, again, clicking, not just the 41 points, but the big plays. And that's really what that game was about. It was about being a big play offense, wasn't it?
Well, we did. And then I was thinking back to this, again, I've had people be like, wow, game was close, this, that. And we got stopped at 4th and 1 on the goal line where we had kind of driven the ball all the way down the field. And obviously you're mad you don't score, but we controlled the ball, we controlled the clock, and we kind of put a physical lean on them too. So I think we had a little bit of combination of both of those, having a fit play. Now they got us a couple stops, there's no question. And then you want to talk about an unsung hero, Peyton Underwood, and his punts, which were just tremendous and flipped the field for us and helped us out quite a bit. But offensively, we're just doing great. We can throw it, we can run it. Peyton ran it a little bit as well. So we had a lot of guys contributing, and that was awesome.
Yeah, and it was right before the half you were driving too, and it was one of those drives where you got down within the 5-yard line, and it took you all 3 downs to slam it into the end zone, which worked out because you got the points and you took a lot of time off the clock. So, yeah, when you talk about being prepared for the playoffs, I guess that game, you did a little bit of everything that you're going to need to do from here on out.
Absolutely. On all phases, offense and defense. We played a lot of different fronts, a lot of different coverages. We did a lot of different things offensively. So we felt like we at least had to use our repertoire to get a big win.
All right. So 8-2 throughout the regular season. And as you practice this week, getting ready for Miami Trace, do you feel like this team is now primed? They know exactly who they are. They know exactly what they have to do to continue to win from here on out.
Oh, I think so. I think we have a lot of confidence in what we're able to do. I think we have a lot of confidence in how to correct mistakes on the field. And we talked a lot about that because, again, Watterson had us in bad positions, quarterback scrambled. We might have been a little bit out of position, or they might have taken advantage of what we were doing defensively, and we had to adjust. Well, those are things that are going to happen in the playoffs against really good and well-coached teams. They're going to exploit weaknesses or things that we've not done, and we've got to adjust quickly. To adjust quickly, listen, you got to have a lot of confidence in one another that, okay, I'm going to do my job, you're going to do your job. So I think that leads to giving us a chance in the tournament.
When it comes down to these situations, you got to win to continue to play now for the rest of the season. You lose, the season comes to an end for your seniors. Their high school career comes to an end. Daniel Tucson has been playing for you for all 4 years. It feels like he's been there 10 years just watching him play. He has been a constant. The playoffs, is that a time where you expect him, who is always on top of his game, to even find another level and continue to pressure quarterbacks and make those tackles after a short gain? Do you expect him to be a guy that's going to stand out as you go through the tournament?
Sure. We expect that of him and all of our great seniors. We talk about sense of urgency, and never is there such a sense of urgency as there is with seniors. The seniors, it's their last ride. This could be our last home game Friday night. we've got to embrace everything and make sure we leave a legacy that we want to be remembered by. So there's a tremendous sense of urgency. Daniel, I don't even want to think about him not wearing the blue and red. That's for sure.
All right, so you've got Miami Trace this week. They come in with a 7-3 record throughout the regular season. The question is quality wins in those 7. We've talked about your schedule. There's some really good quality wins in there. There are even some quality losses that you had where your team learned a lot. But what do you see from this team? Where are you going to be challenged by them?
Well, they're a big, strong, physical team. They're well coached. I know their coach, Coach Williams, a little bit, and he does a great job. But they are big, strong, physical young men that are going to come in here expecting to win. I mean, they've got a really strong running game. Their quarterback's a runner as well, so it's going to pose us some of the same challenges that we had a week ago, which is going to be great for us because it's going to give us an opportunity to see how much we improved or if we improved. We've got to have a physical presence up front. They've got a great line and a really strong fullback or tailback type guy who just pounds it in there. He got 1,600 yards in 10 games, so going to be a big challenge.
Yeah, and as you talk about a mobile quarterback that likes to run the football, teams will pick up on that. If you have trouble again this week, then if you win and you move on, more teams will try to do that. So as you said, it's not often where you go into a playoff game and you're going to face a team that has a weapon that you just faced last week, and you can make that quick assessment, right?
Right, absolutely. And so we've worked on it all week, and I think the kids have a little bit more of a sense of awareness of what can happen and what we need to do to stop it. So it'll be a great challenge.
All right, finally, you just mentioned playing at home, whether it's your last home game or it's not, getting a chance to play playoff football on your home field. What is that experience like, even for you as a coach? I know the players will be jazzed up because all of their classmates are going to be in the stands and the parents and everybody will be there. But what is that energy like for a home playoff game?
It's exciting. It is. It's something you have to earn, and we talk about earning it all year. You got to beat good people to be able to play at home in the playoffs, and so we've done that. But it's such a great experience. We have such a great home crowd with such a great home advantage. We're excited for it. It's going to be, looks like it's going to be wet and rainy, so that's a good advantage for us, I think, as well. But we're excited to play at home.
And not a lot of coaches say wet and rainy. That's a great advantage for us, but that works out for you.
Absolutely.
Brad, thank you so much. Hey, congratulations on a great regular season. And now here it is at crunch time, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck starting this week.
Hope we keep talking.
Well, the way that we will keep on talking is to get a victory starting this week over Miami Trace. The game kicks off at 7 o'clock at Jack Ryan Field. We hope you can make it out to the game in person, but if you can't, you'll be able to watch all of the action right here on the Bishop Hartley YouTube channel. You can also listen to the radio broadcast of the game by going to GameDayBroadcasting.com. The Hawks and the Panthers, 7 o'clock Friday night, Jack Ryan Field. That'll do it for this week's Hartley Football Game Day. It's been brought to you by Hutta and Price Orthodontics. I'm Bob McElligott. Tonight's game is being brought to you by Score on Air and the Ohio Media School, Dr. Hutta and Price Orthodontics, the Lance and Eileen Porter Foundation, Brick League Apparel, Ohio Athletic Performance, and Green Lawn RV.
Hi, this is Bob McElligott for Hutta and Price Orthodontics. Have you ever looked forward to going to any type of a doctor? Well, neither have I, but let me tell you, I do look forward to seeing Doctors Hutta and Price when I go to their practice. You know why? Well, it's as Dr. Hutta says. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And at Hutta and Price Orthodontics, you will know that they care from the very first visit. To find out the services that they provide or to set up a consultation, just go to their website at lovethatsmile.net.
If you've ever dreamed of a career in the sports production industry, your dream could come true. The Ohio Media School is enrolling their next sports emphasis class soon. You'll learn about all the different aspects of what goes into the broadcast that you watch or listen to. Go from behind the scenes to the front of the camera. You'll also get hands-on opportunities to practice your skills through the Score on Air network. Call the Ohio Media School at 614-655-5250 or visit beonair.com/Columbus.
The following is a broadcast produced and starring students from the Ohio Media School's Columbus campus and their sports program, Score on Air.
And good evening from Jack Ryan Field as we begin the playoffs for the Ohio High School Athletic Association. The Bishop Hartley Hawks taking on the Miami Trace Panthers, just about to get underway here. Matt Barnes alongside fellow Hartley alum Randall Sampson. Kickoff is out of the end zone. We have a touchback. Randall, good to see you. Looking forward to a good game here for the Hawks.
Hey, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. The ability to be at Hartley for a playoff game, and this is what football's made out of right now, right? You're heading into November. Halloween trick-or-treat's coming, so let's get it on. Let's see who the tricks are, and let's see what the treats are going to be tonight. Absolutely.
This is going to be the longest playoffs ever in Ohio High School Athletic Association, too. We're talking week 11, and you got to win 6 to win a state championship, so this is the first step. Yeah,
that's okay. Here at Hartley, they have the tradition called Birchfield Thursdays. So every Thursday and Thanksgiving, the Hawks want to practice.
Well, this is what you practice for, week 11, and go from there. Miami Trace coming in 3-7 on the year, and their quarterback is Weston Melvin. He hands it off, and the Hawks bring him down.
Yeah, I really want to see the perimeter here, what Hartley's going to do. They've got a lot of speed on that perimeter. Their defensive ends are really picking it up this year as we get into November, and they're healthy. And that's the key right there. So how healthy can you be and how strong can you be making this run in November?
And if you're going to beat Miami Trace, you got to stop Jalen LeBeau. We look at our impact players, 1,600 yards this season, 16 touchdowns for the senior from Miami Trace. Have to slow him down if the Hawks want to control the line of scrimmage as well as win this game.
Hey, 16 touchdowns is not a small feat. So that is a man right there.
No kidding. 2nd and 11 now as we, again, just getting underway here at Jack Ryan Field. Weston Melvin in the shotgun, 4 wide. And the handoff goes to LeBeau, and he gets around the right side, and that is a pretty good gain, just short of the 30-yard line. Get him to the 28, and that'll bring up 3rd and 2.
And that's what that kid brings, is that level of shiftiness, right? So it takes one breakdown in the defense, and then he finds that and exploits it and takes that yardage that he can get. So defensive end Daniel Tucson did a good job throwing that inside shoulder. And he found that lane and just skipped before the safety could fill.
Miami Trace they will pass the ball, but boy, you have a guy like LeBeau who's 1,650 yards divided by 10. Mike Matt says that's 165 yards per game. I think he's going to get the rock a lot in this one.
I always knew you were a bright student, man. You got that right off the top of your head like that, man. It would have took me some pen and paper to do that.
It's that education I got. Yeah. Here's the handoff to LeBeau. Once again, he gets the ball just across the 30-yard line. First down for Miami Trace. 3 plays, 3 runs. And they move the chains.
Yeah, and Hartley will take that because you're starting to contain this kid now. So you're starting to keep him from getting to a level of comfort, and you're getting a lot of bodies around him and a lot of speed.
If you're thinking about the weather, it has been raining all day here in Columbus, but the weather right now pretty good, about 58 degrees, no rain. I feel it's probably a little slick out there, but in terms of ball control, ball should be okay. Weston Melvin. First pass, he is looking, now scrambling. He's throwing the ball up, and that ball is caught. That is caught by Landon Cope, his favorite receiver, just right past the first down 6. Boy, Hartley had him looking for a while, but at some point you got to get to the quarterback and not give him a chance to throw that ball.
Well, he kept the ball alive. He kept the play alive by scrambling, staying on his feet there for a minute. I thought he was going to stumble and go down, but he just found that corner and found his guy on the edge And I think the DB got lost in space there. And it's a good catch by the receiver.
Yeah, nice job by that offensive line by the Panthers, keeping the Hawks at bay. So 1st and 10 now at their own 43-yard line. Melvin hands it off to LeBeau, and he goes right into the middle of that Hartley defense and pretty much goes nowhere. 1-yard gain.
Yeah, you go right into the teeth of that defense, and they got their linebackers who are healthy. And that safety Phil right off the edge came through hard. And the defensive line did their job. They took on their blocks, freed up the safeties and the linebackers.
If you're looking at that Miami Trace line, it is one that is physical and not overly big. 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2", and 6 foot along the 4. But then they have a right tackle, number 55, Andrew Guthrie. If he looks like he's towering over everyone else, he's 6'8", 285.
Oh, he's a mountain of a man. I saw him walk in, and I saw his shadow. I got scared.
I don't blame you. That is an option pitch. That ball is a backward pitch. It is down. Hawks say they have it. Let's see what the officials have to say. Waiting for an official call. And the Hawks have the ball. Melvin pitching back to LeBeau. LeBeau never got his hands on it. That ball fell to the turf, and nice job by the Hawks to jump on it.
And that's that level of pressure that when that defensive end attack that quarterback, you have to attack the quarterback, and he'll fall back trying to pitch it. So he pitched it high and came right off the running back's hands, and Hartley recovered. And this is what the Hawks want. They need to be on top of these turnover battles.
And it's a great job by the Hawks, too. I mean, you want to make that quarterback pitch it. And, boy, you know, like that, it's not wet out here, but you got to think the field's a little slick. So anytime you can make them put the ball in the air at all, it's a good thing. So Hawks ball at Miami Trace is 41. There's a pitch to Richard Kinnan. He is flying down the field, and he's not going to be caught until he crosses the end zone. 41-yard touchdown, one play, and already the Hawks are in the end zone.
So they dialed up the jackrabbit on that one.
Just like that.
Just like that. They said, all right, let's run this fake dive. And then I think this is the first time the Hartley ran this play this year, where he comes in motion. Let's see the replay here, but it was just amazing. This kid has so much speed and plenty of octane in that tank. And he came across on a jet sweep almost, but they pitched it to him. And I actually thought he was going to turn it straight up and trust the speed, but he cut it under until he got to the paint to pay dirt.
Impressive play by Richard Kinney. You know Hartley has a speed advantage, and they took advantage of it there. Alex Gabriel kicks the extra point up and through with 8:26 left in the first quarter. It is Bishop Hartley 7, Miami Trace 0. You couldn't ask for a better start for both your defense and your offense if you're Brad Birchfield.
Absolutely, and this is what you don't want to do as Trace. You don't want to get behind to where now you have to depend on passing the ball because you have a defensive line that are elite and have a lot of fast twitch in them. Daniel Tucson in the front, like we said before, he's a man out there. So I want to see that matchup with Daniel and the 6'8" guy. That's the battle I want to see. That's the battle of the big boys.
I saw where Andrew Guthrie from Miami Trace has a Marshall offer. I know Daniel's got a few of his own as well, so that should be a great matchup to watch the entire night.
Yeah, and so Daniel has a couple of offers in the MAC, so if both of these guys end up in the MAC, it looks like it's going to be a battle for the next 5 to 6 years.
That could be fun. That could be fun indeed. Again, this is just round one of the playoffs. Take 6 wins now to win a state championship after they added a round to the playoffs. So this is technically a 5-seed Hartley versus 12-seed Miami Trace. And every other year of the playoffs, Miami Trace would not make the playoffs, but with the expansion they are in and trying to pull off the upset as we have a touchback, and they'll get the ball back at the 20-yard line to start their second possession.
And I like this new format, Matt, where people want to say, no, we need to have smaller, make it back to where it's exclusive to get into the playoffs. But what this does is it builds Ohio football. Now the kids get an extra week of practice. And so you extend the season, kids fall in love with the game a little bit more, and you can get to develop your younger players as well, your freshmen and sophomores. So you get to develop them, and now you're aiming for that championship down the road. Give them a taste of what playoffs is all about.
Absolutely, and honestly, when you look at the region, Hartley's in Division III, Region 11, Waterson's a 16 seed. I saw them play last week. I don't know how they're a 16 seed, but to know that they wouldn't have made the playoffs without this expansion, it's kind of a travesty.
Absolutely. And they get an extra week of practice, which is great to develop your kids.
Waterson taking on Granville today. Now 1st and 10. That ball up in the air, picked off. Weston Melvin overthrowing his receiver, and it is picked off. Hartley gets the ball after the tip. Returned all the way to the 20-yard line, and just like that, Hartley with the quick change. Let's see who picked this ball off. That was Anthony Murphy, I think, who got the ball. And, boy, Hartley couldn't ask for a better start on D.
Yeah, and now you can see why Anthony Murphy is getting recruited by some SEC schools. Great soft hands, 6'3", big frame, 215 pounds, and can get the ball and run. So I saw him put a couple moves on there, but I'm sure his pops is going to say a couple things to him. He's got to get to the paint.
Yeah, you can't just get it to the 20. You got to take it all the way to the end. So now 1st and 10 for the Hartley offense. Handoff goes to Niall Johnson, and he is off and running. Another one-play possession for the Hawks, and that is a touchdown.
So, Matt, this has to be some kind of record, right?
I think so. 2 plays, 2 touchdowns, just like that? Yeah.
So, yeah, he just picks his way right through the line, and once he gets to that next level, he's gone. He's in the paint. But the funny thing about it is he'll throw up the deuces when he crosses over. So these kids are watching college, they're watching an NFL, but that's what it's about. It's about having fun without taunting the other team.
Exactly. It's a subtle celebration. You got to have fun with football. That's the whole point of it. Gabriel kick is up and through 14-0. Hartley with 8:09 left in the first quarter. You knew Hartley could always strike fast, but this is a little quicker than I think even most fans anticipated.
Well, and I think at the beginning we just talked about it. If Trace comes in, they want to control the ball. You don't want to get behind the chains. You don't want to be 14 down on the road against a quick strike team like this, and that has an elite defense at the same time. So now you're behind the chains. Are you going to change your game plan up, or are you going to say, okay, guys, we're down 14. Let's stick with the plan. Their running back is actually pretty good.
He's really good.
You know, so when they got in trouble is when they try to get fancy. Give them the ball off tackle, run the stretch, and put pressure on it. Run behind your big hoss at 55. You're going to get 5, 6, 8 yards, but you'll move and matriculate down the field, keep the Hawks offense on the sideline, and hopefully get a score, and then play some defense and just slowly work your way back into this thing.
Yeah, we saw that. That was a first down pass there, and the receiver, if he was in the area, didn't see it. Just looked like a big overthrow, and Murphy was there ready to reel it in. But, yeah, those first down throws, even if that's incomplete, now you're behind the sticks, 2nd and 10, and this is the team that needs to stay on schedule for sure. So Alex Gabriel ready to boot this one, and he boots it deep again. Boy, he's got the leg working today. That one's into the end zone for yet another touchback.
And I tell you, since the beginning of the season, Alex has really increased his confidence with the kicking game, and he has a tremendous leg. I mean, he's not a big kind of kid, but his leg is a big leg. You know, it's like when you see somebody and you say they have field speed, he has a big kicker's leg for the kind of kid that he is. So I'm really interested to see down the road how that leg's going to play into some more of this.
And it's such a weapon in high school football. When you can have a dependable kicker who can make it from long distances, it can really change the game.
Oh, I'm thinking 45 is his range. For a high school kid to kick 45 yards, that's terrific.
That's pretty good. 1st and 10 for Miami Trace, and there's the pitch from Melvin to LeBeau. And as you can see, when he gets the ball and gets downhill, he's tough to stop. That's another 8-yard gain for him.
And that's what we're talking about. Are you going to abandon your game plan, or are you just going to continue on your game plan, slowly work it, and see what happens as you continue to go down the field?
And he ran along the left side of the line there. That's away from their big man, Andrew Guthrie, the 6'8" right tackle, which I'm sure Hartley is focusing on. So if you're Miami Trace, got to mix it up every now and then. So 2nd and 1 here on the 29. And the handoff goes to LeBeau, and he has stood up at the line of scrimmage, and he is short of the line. What a great job by that Hartley defensive front.
Well, they just shut the front door on that one. You get the big guys in the middle. Everybody's pinching down, filling their holes, and letting the linebackers fill.
And who else but Daniel Tucson leading the way right there in the big old 66. Wrapping him up and throwing him down. So 3rd and very short for Miami Trace. Got to think LeBeau's getting the ball here.
And I'd run right behind the big guy, run off tackle, let Tucson make a move, and then cut off of that.
Yeah, Miami Trace, it seems to always go shotgun, 3 wide. 2 men in the backfield. As Melvin takes the snap, pitch to the right, gives it to LeBeau. He's dancing in the backfield, and he is just going to get across the 30-yard line and get the first down. Thought for a second the Hawks were going to be able to stop him back there as he was looking for a spot, and he just got the first down.
And that's exactly what they did. The right tackle is trying to hook Daniel and let him make a move. Then the running back sees which way to cut, cuts off. Even though Daniel makes a tackle, he gets that half yard that he needs.
That is going to be a fun battle to watch right there. You can see those two just grappling at each other there, trying to get whatever inch they can get. So that'll bring 1st and 10 now at the 31, 6:26 and counting here at Jack Ryan Field. Getting Melvin in the shotgun with LeBeau behind him. 4 wide receivers out there now. Man in motion, flag on the play. That pass is incomplete, intended for Ashton Connell. And let's see what the flag is. Looks like it's going to be a motion penalty on Miami Trace.
Well, they try to keep Hartley honest. So quick little 5-yard penalty, but they try to keep Hartley honest there by running a quick slant. So that way those corners aren't pressing too hard coming up for run support. So now you're kind of rocking those corners back a little bit. Now you come back with your running game to attack, maybe pick up 5-8 yards on the next run play. And now you're in business. So now your playbook's wide open.
Yep, first at 15 now for Miami Trace. And again, don't want to get too far behind the sticks if you're them. Their quarterback, Weston Melvin, again, is able to throw the ball. He's had more than 1,000 yards passing this season. But ideally, they'd love to get that ball to LeBeau and let him control the game. Melvin rolling left. Pass is complete. That time to Shea Sawyers. Decent gain as he tries to get some of that penalty yardage back. Leaving around 2nd and 11 now.
That's a nice little drag route. So he just does a quick little out, gets 5-6 yards, turns it upfield, and just enough to get back to about looks like he stepped out a little early. So now we're at 2nd and 11.
Yep, 2nd and 11 as the Panthers, again, trying to get a drive first time past midfield, and maybe this time without turning it over. They've had 2 turnovers on the first 2 offensive possessions. This is their 3rd one. Again, 3 to the right, and he's rolling right. Weston Melvin looking to throw. Throws it complete. Nice catch by Ashton Connell. Just at the first down marker. Looks like the official's going to give it to him. And Miami Trace moving the ball down the field.
And basically they have trips set up this way, and they're just running a flood route. So now they're running the flood, and he catches it right there at the line for the first down.
So now 1st and 10 at the Miami Trace 41. They're moving the ball through the air here, which is a bit surprising. But again, you got to keep the Hartley Hartley defense honest.
Absolutely. And so Trace has 2 turnovers, so they're really in a hole, and they're trying to get across this midfield line.
Oh, the handoff to LeBeau there, and he runs into his own player and falls backward into the ground. Loss of 1 yard there. Great job with Hartley defense, not even providing a hole for him to run through.
Well, when that wall just comes crashing back towards you, it's difficult, and it almost reminds me of that New York Jets with Mark Sanchez, when he just runs into your own player and you fall back, and you can't control it when those guys just come flying back into you. That's 280 pounds of human being flying into you.
You can't control it, but it's still funny to watch. That's the thing. 2nd and 11 now, 3 men to the left. It's the RPO, and here goes Melvin. He can't scoot, and he does scoot along the left side, and he'll pick up about 4 yards there. Not bad there as he had the option to give it to LeBeau, but made the right decision in taking the left tackle.
Well, in this case, LeBeau is a little shooken up, and he's probably saying, you should have gave me the ball if I'm going to pay the price like that. Hartley ran a corner blitz and a linebacker blitz, and they happened to smash up on LeBeau thinking that he had the ball. And I think they really rocked him and shook him up a little bit. So I want to see how he performs the next couple plays, see if the cobwebs are still there.
So now 3rd and 7 at the Miami Trace 44. Doing a nice job with possessing the ball in this drive, but still haven't gotten to past midfield. Let's see if they can convert on a long 3rd down here. 3 men to the right. That is Shea Sawyers in motion, but the flags fly, and I thought I saw a false start as well. One of the receivers jumping.
And this is one of the things that they can't have. So here you just gave up 10 yards and penalties again. As you're making progress, you're pushing, but then you're back again. So now you're looking at your playbook at 3rd and 12.
Yeah.
How do we get out of this hole again?
And this is where if you're Hartley, if you're the defensive tackle, defensive ends, you're putting your ears back and ready to go after Weston Melvin here.
And this might be a good place to call a screen if I'm them.
Absolutely, yeah.
Run a screen play, let those defensive ends come upfield.
That is, again, LeBeau in the backfield. It's 2 men on the left, 2 on the right. Weston Melvin, the 5'10", 160 senior quarterback, is rolling to the right. He's got time to throw, and he throws the dart. That is to Shea Sawyers once again. He gets by the defender, Richard Kinney, and then falls down. About a 15-yard gain, but again, flag flies. And that flag was in the secondary.
Looks like we might have a little pass interference there. He hooked him.
They call holding on Hartley's Niall Johnson, and actually that pass to Ashton Connell there. And nice pitch and catch there from Miami Trace as they are matriculating down the field here. have made it into Hartley territory. Now at the Bishop Hartley 44, they're passing the ball fairly nicely here.
And this is the key. So now they have some confidence. They're over the 50, and now let's stretch the field. Yeah. So I want to see them take the top off just to keep the defensive honest a little bit. Let's see how Hartley responds.
They're down 14-0. You know, they want to do ball control, and they're trying to do that right now. Here's a pitch backward to LeBeau, and boy, Hartley's defense just finding a way to get to the ball and rallying to the ball. That's a 4-yard loss.
And I tell you what, this defensive line came to play tonight.
No kidding.
I mean, they are out there playing like their hair's on fire, and they can't be stopped.
Yeah, I mean, just the pursuit of that ball. I mean, LeBeau had nowhere to go. Well, that was Deshaun Tucker, the first one to get his hands on him there. So that'll bring up 2nd and 13 for Miami Trace.
You know, there's a lot of hard hitting going on over there where Tucker's helmet flew off, and his mouthpiece is going the other way. So those guys are really getting after it.
Yeah, Tucker now off the field as he has to be off one play because his helmet came off. Weston Melvin gets the snap, hands off to LeBeau. No, he doesn't actually. He keeps the ball and now pitches it out. That is Landon Cope on the pitch. And a good game for Miami Trace. That'll bring up 3rd down, but at least it keeps it 3rd and manageable for Miami Trace today. Yet again, taking it to the outside, avoiding the inside where they haven't had much success.
And that's how you slow down this Hartley defense because, you know, there's a lot of speed. So you got to keep them hesitant, run these RPOs, run these options, put a lot of window dressing up, and just create distractions to slow them down a little bit because the straight-up stretch play up the middle is not working.
Yeah, and you've noticed all week long, Brad Birchfield teaching the Hawks about that RPO, making sure they stay with their assignments, which is so important in this kind of offense that they're facing. 3rd and 5 now. Melvin, quick slant pass. It is incomplete, almost picked off by Alex Ramacone.
And that was a good tip right there because now you're looking at, okay, is this going to be the 3rd turnover? And they try to hit the quick slant to the inside slot, and he just couldn't hang on. That's Anthony Murphy out there covering number 11, 6'3", 215-pound guy covering a wide receiver. You got to be a heck of an athlete with some good feet, good technique, and he wrapped the guy on the hip and reached over with his left arm and knocked the ball away for almost another tip.
Yeah, avoided the pass interference there. So 4th and 5, Hartley's defense trying to stop the Panthers, who have no doubt had their best drive of the night right now. Here is Melvin, takes the snap, fakes the handoff to LeBeau. Now there's a pitch. And that will be a 1st down to Landon Cope. We just saw that play 2 plays ago, and it worked yet again, this time for a 1st down.
And at this point, they're just going to say, okay, we're going to use our dog as a decoy. And they sold it really well and slowed down that defense a little bit just to get to that corner.
And Brad Birchfield already wanted to talk to his defense about their assignments. He calls timeout here with 2:09 in the 1st quarter. You have to give credit to Miami Trace after 2 drives that ended in turnovers and then 2 quick strikes from the Hartley offense. They've come out on this drive and really controlled and really put some variety to the Hartley defense and making them think.
Yeah, and they could have just packed their bags up and, you know, scrap their play calling and say, hey, let's panic and throw the ball down as far as we can and see what happens and punt it, and then we would have been down by 3 or 4 scores. But they stuck with their game plan.
This is a Miami Trace team that, again, is coming in 3-7 on the season. Just last week, though, their biggest win of the year, beating their rivals from Washington Courthouse 28-26. Courthouse had a field goal to win at the buzzer that Miami Trace blocked. And talk about the Fayette County rivalry that is. That is bringing a lot of momentum into this game for the Panthers. But this is a whole other beast here in the Bishop Hartley Hawks.
Well, that's the beauty about rivalries. You know, you take out the records, and now you have 364 days of bragging rights.
Absolutely. So 1st and 10 now for the Panthers. 32-yard line of the Hawks. 3 wide on the right, 1 to the left. Man in motion. Melvin looking to pass. He throws it nice and high. That is a great throw, and the ball is dropped by Ashton Connell. It was in the breadbasket.
Man, that quarterback did a great job with ball placement. You couldn't ask for anything better. I don't know if he lost it in the lights or if the conditions are a little bit slick out there. The ball fell right through. But he placed the ball perfectly. He could feel the heat coming from behind him from the defensive end, but he just placed it perfectly. Skipped it off his back foot a little bit.
Yeah.
But that was a perfect placement of a ball.
Didn't even really set his feet, and that was just an absolute accurate throw. Don't be surprised if they come back to that one later in the game. But That now brings up 2nd and 10. Again, Miami Trace throwing the ball a lot more than I think they want to, but it's working right now. Man in motion, Melvin hands it off. That is Landon Cope, and this time he goes nowhere. Hartley defense ready for that one as they go off the right side. Just a 1-yard gain, and that'll bring up 3rd and long.
Yeah, and this defensive line keeps bailing them out, so we're going to have to see if they're going to try to hit the quick slants again, because obviously it's 3rd down, so you're going to have to pass the ball here. I mean, you don't have to, but chances are you're going to have to pass it. So we'll be interested to see what kind of a formation they come out.
Yeah, it's 4-down territory, you got to think, if you're Miami Trace here, right?
That's right. And the trips that they ran in the middle of the field when they needed yards, where they flooded the field with the trips, that worked out well. So let's see if they run a flood over there with the trips again, and here they come out in trips.
So here we go, 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Again, that's LeBeau in the backfield. Weston Melvin claps his hands. Austin Boddicker goes in motion. LeBeau does not have the ball. Instead, that's Melvin with the QB keeper. He gets around the left side, then gets around another defender. He is at the 1st down sticks and gets it. What a great feel for the field there by Melvin. Great vision as he finds a way to elude a tackler and get the 1st down yardage.
And they do a lot of great window dressing, send some people in motion, and basically the quarterback just says, I'm going to go ahead and take this, run it. I know what I'm doing. And he's a pretty experienced quarterback. And he finds that corner, he sees where the sticks are, and gets to that 1st down.
This is a 7+ minute drive by Miami Trace, down 14-0 as we're inside a minute here in the 1st quarter. Weston Melvin has matriculated this ball nicely down the field. Look out, though. He's got some pressure down on the left side. He gets the ball away to LeBeau. He slips a tackle, then jukes a man to the left, and he is into the end zone. What a nice job by Miami Trace on that drive, and a great finish there by LeBeau, eluding the tackler and getting to pay dirt.
And you can see how shifty this kid is. I mean, he has some great hips, the ability to stop on a dime, turn it up, and accelerate. Man.
That was impressive. I mean, eluding the tackler was one thing, but then to find a way to get to the end zone with a couple guys in front of him, just a nice job by LeBeau and a nice job by Melvin. He had a man right in his breathing down his neck, and he got it away.
Yeah, and the defensive end, Tucson, he was really hounding that quarterback. He was about a half a step away from the sack. And that's one of the frustration parts, right? You're right there, you want to get that sack, but then it turns into a touchdown.
Even worse.
Like, oh, man.
Even worse. Extra point is good from Zach Warnock. And Miami Trace bouncing back after a couple turnovers and quick strikes from the Hartley offense, and it is now 14-7 with 33 seconds left in the 1st quarter. If you're Brad Bertram, what are you telling your defense there?
Well, everybody was where they were supposed to be. The linebacker just got over-leveraged. So basically tell a linebacker, hey, run through the guy. He was trying to catch him at the top of the shoulders. Just run through him, make your regular tackle like you make. And everybody's there. The defense is flying to the ball. You just got over-leveraged, and that's just a technique thing that you can fix. You can fix technique. So the plays are right. The kids are in the right places. They're playing hard. Now just work on your technique, and everything will be fine. Just settle in. But 2 plays, 2 touchdowns. I don't know if this offense is even warmed up yet. No, so we'll see if they can sustain the drive here.
No kidding. I mean, 14-7, and if you're just now joining us, the 2 touchdowns from Hartley have come on 2 plays. A touchdown by Al Johnson, and then another one by Richard Kenny. So here's the kickoff. They are going with a little squib kick, and it is recovered by the Hawks, and they're going to have great field position to start this 3rd possession for them around their own 42-yard line. And we'll actually be able to talk a little bit about the Hartley offense led by Peyton Underwood, their quarterback, who's had a fine season, throwing for more than 1,200 yards this year, 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Doesn't throw the ball much, but when he does, he's been pretty accurate, completing about 63% of his passes.
So what's the over-under on Twitter right now live that they'll go 3 plays, 3 touchdowns?
Boy, I'm not a betting man, but I would bet it's not going to happen, but I could be wrong. Well, it was not a good snap, and Underwood now taking that high snap and just keeping it himself. It's a bit of a busted play, and that only goes for about 1 yard, getting the best of what he could off of that, but that was not the best ever start for this drive.
So that 1 yard rush really brings down the rushing average for the game for the Hawks.
Yeah.
So now they're averaging, 28 yards a carry now instead of,
Yeah, they were doing about 30 yards per gain there.
Yeah.
That'll be the end of the quarter as Hartley will see this clock wind down. 14-7, Bishop Hartley with the lead here. Jack Ryan Field, you are listening to Hartley Hawk Football.
Can you see yourself working on TV, radio, or social media? As media professionals, we make our voice heard. Call the Ohio Media School and be a part of something bigger than you and me. You'll train and get the skills you need to work in TV, radio, social media, film, and much more.
I graduated and now am working as a director of marketing at a local radio station. My future is set.
Call the Ohio Media School now and be a part of something bigger. 614-723-9675. 614-723-9675.
Podcasting, it's time for you to check out the Ohio Media School, located in Columbus. If you're interested in radio and TV production or digital media marketing, the Ohio Media School is the choice for you. Visit beonair.com/Columbus or follow them on all social media platforms. Ohio Media School, we change lives.
14-7, Bishop Hartley with the ball here as we begin the second quarter here at Jack Ryan Field. Thanks for joining us here as we are enjoying the first round of the playoffs. Here's the pass from Hayden Underwood out to the outside, and here he goes. That is Richard Kenny once again. Boy, when he gets the ball, that's Trayvon Saunders, when he gets the ball, you can almost expect him to house it every time. This time he does not as he steps out just at the 20-yard line, but that is a 36-yard gain, pitch and catch there.
Well, Matt, that's the key right there. So you get a kid that is the state runner-up in the 100 in track, and then you got Richard Kenny on the other side. You got 3 running backs that can take it to the house. So every time somebody touches the ball, you don't even know who has it because there's so much speed.
Pick your poison, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Trayvon obviously having a fantastic year, 37 receiving yards, 37 receptions, 902 yards coming into the game. Hartley going to pass the ball again. Underwood rolling to the right, and he's going to hold it this time. And the keeper gets him inside the 10, the 5, and he is down at the 3-yard line. Takes a pretty good lick. He does not fumble the ball. He was down, but that is a great 17-yard run from the quarterback.
And I tell you, he picked up a lot of momentum going down the hill. He saw that thing part open like the Red Sea and decided, hey, I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to tuck it. And he covered up the ball at the end and fell down and rolled. And he was down. Doesn't
run the ball very often, but when he does, that 6'3" frame, those legs can move. So now 1st and goal at the 3-yard line, heavy personnel in now for the Hawks. Underwood under center. Here's the snap and the pitch back to Deontay Hubbard. He's pushing forward, pushing, and he is in for the touchdown as Bishop Hartley stretches their lead to 20-7.
Yeah, that offensive line did a good job on that left-hand side. We're going to see some of that blocking down there on that left-hand side. And I think that was the bigger brother Murph at the left tackle, 75.
So now it is Alex Gabriel in to kick for the extra point. So a nice response drive by Hartley right after Miami Trace grabbed the momentum in this game. They take it right back. Gabriel's kick is up and through. 21-7 is your score. And kudos to the Hartley offense. It wasn't a quick strike, but it was quick in the same vein. Here's a replay of that touchdown once again.
Yeah, you see the right guard just pulling around, getting a nice big push in there, and bodies are all driving back.
Let me give credit where credit is due. That was Sherrod Bowens, actually, with the touchdown, his 5th rushing touchdown of the year. He only has 24 carries coming into this game, but there's number 25, and it goes in for 6. But, again, you kind of have those quick guys like Niall Johnson and Trayvon Saunders. Then you have the big ones, and Sherrod Bowens, Dylan Newsome, Deontay Hubbard. It's just a tough offense to stop.
Yeah. Well, and the key to this is I've watched Hartley play and get better over the season. And the kid that I'm watching getting better is that Bowens kid.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
He is just a freakish athlete, how big he is. And he can get downfield and he makes up ground.
Yeah.
And he has he's just so big, he doesn't look like he's moving that fast. But he is struck because all of a sudden people can't catch him.
Yep.
You're like, why isn't anybody catching the big guy?
I love watching him on defense, boy. The way he chases down tackles, it is just fantastic. I mean, he is a downhill guy. Obviously doing a nice job running the ball, too. That is an onside kick. That is bumbled by number 43 of Miami Trace, and because he touched it after 10 yards, Hartley then jumps on top of it. Oh, boy, the last thing Miami Trace needed, but a little bit of trickery as Gabriel just give that thing a little tap. It was not handled well by Cole Campbell, and the Hawks recover.
And Johnny on the spot, Trey Saunders is there. There he is.
Wow. Well, you always know Brad Birchwood willing to have that trick up his sleeve, even in a game that he's up by 14, but it's the playoffs. You want to put as much on tape for these teams to think about it the rest of the way, and he does just that. And now the Hawks back in business on Miami Trace's 45-yard line, looking for yet another score. Underwood in the shotgun. Has Johnson in the backfield, and that's who he's going to hand off to. They go right tackle. He's got blockers. He's along the sideline, and he is tiptoeing along the sideline and running to the end zone. 45 yards for the touchdown. Oh, boy. This Hartley offense is on fire.
And so Hartley is running at quintessential down to the boundary, student body to the short side, pack a whole bunch of bodies in there and let that running back find that hole in that gap. And when he gets in the end zone, he does his wave. He says, "Hi, Mom."
Johnson's 14th rushing touchdown of the year, second of the game. Boy, that was just blocked really well done by the Hartley offense there. Gabriel's kick is up and good. 28 points in just 13 minutes of gameplay here at Jack Ryan Field. Boy, if you're the Hartley offense, you're feeling pretty confident.
Yeah, and what they love to do is they love running into that boundary, packing as many bodies in that boundary as possible, create that wall, and let that running back find that one seam, and he's gone. Because that's how they roll. I mean, you've got kids that have power, then you got that kid that has that speed that can accelerate that around that corner, and all you have to do is set that edge as offensive lineman and make that wall and go. And you only need about 2 or 3 linemen that are really creating that screen, because then they can't see the running back.
Yeah.
And he just picked his way down the sideline. That was awesome.
How tough is that to prepare for in 1 week like Miami Trace? You haven't played Hartley, and it's in 21 years, and now you get 1 week to prepare for this offense. How tough is that?
Well, the issue is you can scheme for it, but you can't prepare for that speed. So you can get your guys in the right place. I mean, Trace had people in the right place. They just couldn't catch the guy.
Yeah.
So that's the part that you're not prepared for. You're not used to seeing that speed all year long.
Yeah, you can't really practice that during the week as well. Gabriel kicks it through the end zone once again, so the Panthers will start at their own 20-yard line, needing to go 80 yards to keep this game a game. Down 21 now. They had a great drive the last time they had the ball, but it also ate up 8 minutes of clock, and, well, time is not really good.
Time is not their
That's
friend.
not going to be good for them.
Well, and, on that onside kick that Hartley had, I had flashbacks of the 2010 Bird Shield. Every kickoff was an onside kick.
Every one of them.
Every last kickoff. Didn't matter if you're up by 50, down by 20. Every kickoff was a and that's the 50-50 balls is the concept there.
Well, it forces high school football players to field the ball, which is not, this isn't the pros here. They will make mistakes, so there's nothing wrong with playing the odds there.
Yep.
All right, Weston Melvin back at quarterback in the shotgun, and he's going to hand it off this time to his – oh, he's not, excuse me. That's another fake handoff to LeBeau. I'm getting tricked left and right here, but who's not getting tricked is the Hartley defense that sacks Melvin for 5 yards. Or is it a fumble? That is a fumble.
Yeah, man, I think they called the fumble on that. Quarterback got up a little shaken up.
Yes, he did.
And I think at the end is when he lost the ball.
Wow. Yet again, Trace with a turnover. That is their third of the game, and this one hurts a lot too because Hartley's going to get the ball in the red zone. Let's get a look at this play. Melvin with the ball, and, that handoff never was clean. Oh.
Yeah, that's where he missed it, was on the handoff.
Oh.
And you get so much pressure up front, so now the quarterback becomes indecisive on the RPO, and that's when the mistakes happen. It's a split second, and then he bobbles it, and it causes that turnover.
Yeah, every time you run that RPO, obviously, and they've done it all year long. It's week 11. Those two have great chemistry, but even every now and then you want to pull that ball out, and it's not a clean exchange, or that's what happens. I'll get you some. So 10:54 left in this second quarter. And boy, oh boy, Hartley's offense is just clicking on all cylinders. They haven't had to throw the ball much because the run game's been so good. We already have touchdowns from Richard Kenny, 1 from Trayvon Saunders, 2 from Niall Johnson. Let's see how many. Oh, excuse me. 1 from Sherrod Bowens, I should say. This is just a clinic right now.
It is. And, Matt, I tell you what, I've got my eyes on the center, Schaefer. So he's a little guy in the middle, really great technician, and he makes all of the calls out there.
Yeah, that was Peyton Underwood on first down to throw, and that pass incomplete, a little bit behind the intended receiver. That was Trayvon Saunders, it looks like. But as you can see, pass interference called on the defense. Maybe that's why that timing of the route was thrown off, and so that'll be half the distance, and the Hawks will get another first down, and they now move the ball inside the 10 to the 7-yard line.
And typically, you kind of hook the guy on the release. and then the official catches you right there because you're out there in space by yourself, and you don't want that guy to break inside.
So now 1st and goal at the 7-yard line. Here's the handoff, and that is going to be another touchdown for Niall Johnson, his 3rd of the game. Just picking through the Miami Trace defense up the middle. And, boy, that'll make it 34-7. Hartley with their 5th touchdown of the day.
And he reminds me of Maurice Claret on this run when he jump cuts and skips through and just uses his footwork and acceleration to get to that to the touchdown.
It really is quite impressive what the Hartley offense is doing today. The offensive line having their way with Miami Trace's offensive line. And Brad Birchfield mentioned that. He said, we are more athletic and stronger than their line. They may be physical, but we're going to out-physical them, and it is working so far. Extra point is through 35-7. Bishop Hartley. You couldn't dream up a better scenario to start the playoffs than you could right now than what Hartley's doing.
No, and I'm really impressed with Hartley's defense tonight. They're really growing over time. It took them a couple weeks to kind of get going. You've got some key players that are back. Everybody's healthy, and you have some really great depth as well.
So 35-7 now. 10:45 left in the second quarter. Again, this is an 8-2 Hartley team that has won 6 in a row, so they're coming in brimming with confidence after what was a somewhat rough start to the season. They were playing well, but just lost a couple games. The Benedictine game, a good team, obviously. Ursuline, that was a shootout kind of game, but boy, ever since then, winning the CCL, beating some really quality teams, and they come in here feeling good, and they're showing it.
Well, that Ursuline game was really the benchmark game that kind of set everything up for Hartley's defense as to what they need to work on and get better at versus you're going through the season thinking that everything's fine, and you get to the playoffs and you run across a team like that, you're not prepared.
No. That Ursuline game was as fun as you could watch if you love offense, but boy, defensively, and Birch is a defensive guy. That was killing him inside to see his team just get run up and down the field like that.
Oh, yeah.
So here we are with Miami Trace yet again with the ball. They have 3 turnovers so far, which has really hurt them because Hartley has scored on all 3 of those turnovers and quickly. They need points, and they need them quickly as well. So 35-7, this is Melvin with the ball, and he's pitching it to LeBeau, who hasn't run the ball much in this game, as much as we thought he would, and this is why you want to give him the rock. He is just dragging defenders 10, 15 yards, and now up to about an 18-yard gain to the 38-yard line. What a run by LeBeau.
And this is what the coaches want. They want to get to that edge. They want to toss it, move that defensive line around a little bit for Hartley. But you're down 35-7. And so now you're at that crossing point. Like, do I get out of my game plan, or do we stick with the game plan and fight our way back into this?
And that's the issue, is that time isn't on their side, and they're down by so much. And while they did pass the ball well in their drive that they did score on, can they count on that in this drive? Hartley has made some defensive adjustments. Defensive line really getting in the backfield. So 1st and 10 now at the 38. Melvin once again handed it off to LeBeau. Boy, he is just a downhill runner. I love seeing that from the senior. Got a 4-yard gain there.
Oh, and he's physical. I mean, he's in there just shaking and hitting and bucking and making things happen. But I don't think they can afford another 8-minute drive.
No, they can't. I mean, they need to score quickly, but I just don't know if this offense is designed to score quickly.
Well, their receivers seem to have some speed out there, so if they can get loose,
and we saw where the receiver got behind Richard Kinney the one time, just dropped the ball. What would have been a long touchdown pass there. All right, here's the pitch. This time it is LeBeau on the left side, and he has stayed inbounds long enough to get the first down. Boy, and you can see why Jaden LeBeau has 1,600 yards this season. He has just not only got good speed, good power, and great balance as well.
Yeah, and once again, you got the linebacker that got over-leveraged, and you have the outside linebacker come through, push up hard, make the running back cut underneath, inside linebacker fills and just gets over-leveraged because a kid like that, you don't expect for him to have that much speed.
No.
And so now you're over-leveraged because you're a step behind and your angles are off. So this is a great test for Hartley's defense as far as the running game is concerned moving forward into the playoffs.
100% agree. Yeah, I don't know how many more running backs you can see better than LeBeau because, boy, he is really fantastic. This guy's wide open over here. This is Aston Connell, who has been the favorite target of Weston Melvin, and that will be another first down. As yet again, the Panthers finding a way to move the ball not just on the ground but through the air, and they are now to the Hartley 35.
Yeah, and if I'm Trace, as you see in the replay, they give him plenty of space, plenty of cushion. If I'm Trace, I'm just running quick outs, get out of bounds, stop the clock, get out of bounds, stop the clock, score. and then hopefully there's more time for me to get the ball back again before halftime.
That was a long throw by Melvin, too, from all the way to the wide side over there. But, again, Connell had nothing but space to catch that ball and pick up the first down yardage. So now 3 wide, 2 in the backfield for Melvin, who I think has thrown the ball fairly well today. He does have the interception, but beyond that, a lot of his passes have been right on point. This time he's going to hand it off to the up man, and the up man gets 5 yards pushing forward, maybe 6, maybe 7. Now he's getting pushed by the whole offensive line, and he might have pushed his way up for 3 more yards. That's an 8-yard gain.
Oh, and it's a scrum in there, Matt. This is what you love to see. So usually when you're inside of this scrum like this, the team that's getting the momentum keeps pushing. The team whose momentum's getting pushed, somebody's yelling, blow the whistle, blow the whistle.
His progress is stopped.
Stop. The momentum's over, blow the whistle.
Out Landon Cope with the 8-yard gain as Miami Trace now at the Hartley 27, 8-10 and counting, though, in this quarter. Again, a methodical drive by the Panthers here, moving it down the field, but, again, down 35-7. But good to see them once again rebound with a nice offensive drive after taking a couple of blows to the chin. That is Cope in motion. Melvin back to pass, pocket collapsing, and he finds a way to escape it. Boy, he's quick. Gets across the 20 for another first down. Melvin scrambling there, and Hartley got the pressure on, but couldn't keep him in the pocket as he gets out.
Yeah, and I tell you, Daniel Tucson just comes right around, uses great technique, rips, and Hartley just lost their rush lane integrity. So everybody didn't stay in their lanes when he got pushed up into the pocket.
Yeah, you'd love to see linebacker be there to stop that run lane from being open, but it was there. So now 1st and 10 at the 19. And flags fly. This will be a false start. Oh, they're calling encroachment, actually, on the Hartley offense, and that'll make it 1st and 5 for the Panthers. With 7:24 left here in this second quarter as we inch toward halftime, and Hartley with a big, big lead here in this first round playoff game.
Well, when you feel like offense starting to move like this, as a defense, you want to get closer and closer to the ball, right? And so you got to be careful. You can't get over that ball.
Yeah, I think the Hartley defense a little frustrated by how easily Miami Trace is moving the ball. They've been picking up 5 to 10 yards a chunk on this drive. So now 1st and 5 at the Hartley 14-yard line. Weston Melvin rolling left. The pass is up. It is complete. That is his man, Landon Cope, who gets across the 8-yard line up to the 6. And that is enough for a first down, making it 1st and goal for the Panthers.
And this is what you do. You got to recognize this as a defense coordinator. So Miami Trace is realizing they have a beast out there with Daniel. So they're rolling away from him, giving the quarterback some time, and then just flooding that side and letting their receivers get upfield. So they have fairly athletic receivers. So I think that's going to be a plus for them moving forward.
Yeah, they have found ways to get open, and the Hartley secondary's got to get that tackle as soon as the man is caught. They are getting fairly decent yards after contact. So now 1st and goal on the left hash for the Panthers. Rolling right is Weston Melvin. Boy, the pocket has collapsed, and he is down. That'll be a loss of about 2 or 3 yards as Hartley defense got him.
And you go to the right-hand side at your own peril as that quarterback. And like I told him before, you have to roll left. You got to stay away from Daniel Tucson because he just causes havoc. He whips that right tackle, takes on the running back, beats up on him, and leaves it wide open for his teammates to come and clean up.
Yeah, that was Trod Bowens that came in and cleaned that up indeed. And as we said, he loves running downhill and chasing down offensive players for a tackle. So now 2nd and goal. Here is the handoff to LeBeau, but instead it is fumbled on the transfer, and yet again a fumbled handoff is going to have them lose yards. At least this time Melvin is able to fall on the ball, but doesn't make 3rd and long.
Guys, I hope they show the replay on this because this is what you call a Division I stud. Watch Daniel Tucson come through, correct technique, and causes panic.
Wow.
And that makes the ball fall down. When you see a guy doing something like that, a big guy, that's why you're a Division I recruit.
Yeah, that is where Melvin is thinking, oh, no, I got to keep this ball. But by then, the havoc has already been raised by Daniel. Well done. So now 3rd and goal from the 12-yard line, rolling left. It's Melvin looking for a man. There is no one open. This is a great job by the secondary. He's going across his body, trying to get the ball to Landon Cope, but great defense by the Hawks as that ball falls incomplete.
I'm telling you what, it is Halloween. It's upon us, and the freak show has come. Daniel Tucson, I mean, this guy is just a beast.
He's everywhere.
They roll away from him. He's coming. He's like, do you have any Twix? I'm coming to eat you. This guy is all over the place.
You ate your kid's candy yesterday, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I have some in my pocket, too.
Sure, okay, good. So that 4th and goal.
I have gummy bears that are nice and warm in my pocket.
Oh,
Do you want them?
no.
Right.
No. They're not good warm pocket.
Well, Ferris Bueller's day off.
Yeah. 4th and goal. Miami Trace is going to call timeout, and what is a big play for their offense as they try to get back into this game. So Hartley with the chance to get the Miami Trace offense off the field. They've really bowed up here as it's been 1st and goal after kind of giving up a lot of yards here. What do you expect here from Miami Trace? How they throw the ball through the air and see what they can get here?
So they have to, if they're going to throw, they have to roll left, and they have the wide open side of the field is there. So you put Tucson in the boundary unless they flip him over to the open side. But roll to your left, flood it, and they have been successful running the flood. Where they have not been successful is when they try to run a quick slant.
Yeah.
So run the flood, have levels, and give your quarterback time and some options. Give him about 3 options to throw it to, and get that first down.
About time to maybe double Tucson there, because, I mean, he's getting through the offensive line pretty quickly.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing. So he's destroying a D1 right tackle, and they're chipping with a pretty good athlete at number 17 is coming over to chip and help, but he's running through those guys like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah, he's been in the backfield, and almost every play it seems like pass or run. So here we go, 4th and goal from the 12-yard line. Miami Trace down 35-7, needing points. And this is Melvin looking right now, turning back left. He's going to throw it to the back corner. That ball is not caught. Boy, it was in the hands, but ultimately dropped at that front pylon. That would have been a touchdown. Again, that pass to Landon Cope, one of his favorite targets, and that will turn it over on downs.
And so that turnover is sponsored by Daniel Tucson the Beast. So he gets triple teamed, meaning the right tackle blocks him, the running back blocks him, and the flanker blocks him. So it limits the amount of guys that can go out for a pass. And the DBs, there are 2 DBs on one guy, and they're like, hey, this is great.
Yep.
We're loving this coverage. Every DB loves that, right?
Oh, absolutely.
The 2-on-1 out there, you're like, hey, this is great.
Got me and a partner to help out.
Yeah.
Well, just like that, Hartley with the ball again on offense, and all they've done is go 5 for 5 with the ball when it comes to scoring. So here's Peyton Underwood now with the ball in the shotgun, looking deep, and this is a beautiful ball in the air. Now it's starting to flutter a little bit and incomplete. Richard Kenny had gotten behind the defender, Garrett Smith, but the pass about 3 yards behind him.
That's what we call the blessing and the curse of the Jets, man. Because Richard Kenny got out.
Yeah.
You know, if there was some more air on that ball, get it out there, let your man run underneath it, he's still running.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's almost one of those balls where you just want to just get as far as you can and let him run and get under it.
Yeah, just throw it as hard as you can. He'll get to it.
I like the call, though. You know, 1st and 12, you're thinking you're just going to try to run the ball, get it out of this part of the end zone area, and instead Hartley tries to pull the top off of everything and just incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 for an offense that has just been moving up and down the field all game long. Trayvon Saunders in motion. And the pitch instead goes to the inside man, and that is a great gain. It looks like Niall Johnson who gets the ball up near the 30-yard line for the Hawks. Good gain, 1st down gain for the Hawks as they are now once again moving the ball with 4:40 to go.
And that's great interior blocking. Lots of pancakes going on in there. Woo-wee, they're cleaning up some pancakes in there. And that's a big number.
If you've ever considered a career in broadcasting, it's time for you to check out the Ohio Media School.
Got a nice pancake at the end.
6'1", 275. Yeah, that's pretty good for the sophomore there. Now 1st and 10 for the Hawks. 4:20 to go. Here's the pitch to Saunders along the right side. Little juke move, and that works. So that got him another 8 or 9 yards, and now it pushes him past the 1st down marker. Well done by Trayvon Saunders. Looked like it could have been a 4-yard gain, and the shifty feet allows him to get the 1st down yardage.
Just a level of balance. So you have that speed that comes to the outside, but it's that balance after the first hit. Looks like he's going to get taken down, maintains his center of gravity, and turns up and gets another 6 yards.
He's having himself the kind of year that could have him winning Division III Player of the Year. I mean, he has 1,400 some total yards this season. That's before this game even began. 15 total touchdowns. He has just been an absolute beast for this Hartley offense, and someone every defense has to game plan for when you play the Hawks.
And he's got quite a few offers from some Ivy Leagues, so I'm just looking forward to this kid setting that league on fire.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to him having a great postseason here for the Hawks. Here we go, 1st and 10. Underwood looking to the right. That passes to Richard Kenny. Great blocking ahead of him. And, boy, if he can get free, and he cannot, that would have been a touchdown. Great tackle, grabbing him by the jersey by number 32 of Miami Trace. That's Skylar Mitchell with the tackle, and, boy, he saved the touchdown there.
And what's impressive is the stop and start. My goodness, I mean, you don't even see this out of college kids.
No.
These kids here, they get elite training. They have great technique by their coaches, and they work very hard, and they're very precise in their patterns and executing every play.
Yeah, that was a great play design there and just great execution. Like you said, he had blockers in front of him. He waited for them, and then in the stop and start, fantastic by them. Saunders in motion now here on 1st and 10, inside give, and that is going to be another first down. That is Dylan Newsome. Doesn't get the rock very often, but when he does, he tends to get good yardage. Just his 10th carry of the year, and that puts him over 100 yards for the season.
I'll tell you what, that's one of my favorite ones right there. Dylan, oh, man, he gets in there and he batters around. And they got him at 185, but I think he's put on a little bit more, and we call that little end-of-the-season COVID weight as well. And so he's probably well over 200 in there just banging around. What a great kid.
He's going to have to cut that, though, because he's got to wrestle. His Division II runner-up in state wrestling last year. Going to hopefully be Hartley's first ever state champion wrestling. We'll see.
Absolutely.
Here we go, first down run, and here we go. Another big run for Hartley, and that one's going to go inside the 5. Oh, boy, Niall Johnson having himself a game. Tried to get his fourth touchdown there, excuse me.
Now, watch his head, Matt. Watch his head. Watch how he looks downfield. But he's already looking 2 players downfield. He's not looking at number 24.
No.
He's already looking in the end zone for his next move. That's an elite runner.
Yeah.
That's the vision that you would like to say I coached it.
You can't coach vision.
That.
Exactly. You can't coach vision as much as you want to take credit for it. 1st and 10 now. 1st and goal, I should say. At the 2-yard line, handoff is given, and that is a score. Boy, that was way too easy for Deontay Hubbard, and that will be his 12th touchdown of the year, and Hartley takes a 41-7 lead.
And what I love about it is when he scored, it's very workmanlike. So that offensive line, they know what their jobs are, and they get in there and they start grinding away. And number 51 doesn't lay a hand on somebody until the very back of the end zone.
Yeah, Miami Trace's defensive line no doubt has to be tired, too. They had to work on that drive, and by the time we got to the 2-yard line, it was pretty easy pickings there for Hartley to push that across the end line. Kick is up by Gabriel, and good, 42-7. Bishop Hartley in control of this first-round playoff game, looking good as they want to move on to the next round in these playoffs and get one step closer to that 5th state championship.
And I wonder if this is the time where Coach Birchfield looks at the other coach and just gives him the nod, gives him that little eye stare, and say, okay, we'll get the younger guys in, let them get some playoff experience, let them enjoy it a little bit, because right now it's just starting to get out of control a little bit.
It absolutely is, and, Miami Trace who came into this game 3-7, but obviously they are a game team. We've seen the potential of this squad. They can move the ball up and down the field, but defensively they are having trouble stopping this Hartley offense. In fact, they haven't done it yet. Hartley 6 for 6 on offense, have had no problem with chunk plays and quick strike offense, and now with 2:40 left in the second half, they have given themselves a 42-7 lead.
Yeah, and this is, I think, for Miami Trace, you love the work that the seniors have put in and the juniors have put in over time, but you want to get your younger guys in there, get them experience and confidence to build for your program to come, because you don't want your program to be destroyed.
Absolutely. Got to think the starters will stay in for the rest of this half as they'll get the ball here, starting once again at the 20-yard line as that ball goes through the end zone. So with 2:40 left, let's see if Miami Trace can muster up one more scoring drive before halftime.
Yeah, and I tell you, I loved, you watch the kickoff, but I like the collisions on the kickoff. And so you had 71 for Trace and 28 for Hartley. They had a nice hard collision. Both of them went down on the ground. But the sportsmanship, both getting up, sticking each other's hands out and helping each other up, that's what it's all about.
And that's something that I know the kickoff coverage was something Brad Birchfield wanted to work on against Waterston. Waterston started with the ball around their 40-yard line about 3 or 4 times. The kickoff coverage just was not good from Hartley last week. And so tonight to see them with the collisions, even on a touchback, I think I'll be happy to see that.
Absolutely.
All right. It's 1st and 10. That's a pitch once again to LeBeau, and boy, he is just a workhorse. It's tough to bring down. You see it takes 6 or 7 Hawks to do it. It's only a 3 or 4 yard gain, but it's a hard earned 3 or 4 yards.
And I think if Hartley didn't have those quick 2 touchdowns at the beginning, this is a totally different game.
Correct.
With this kid running the ball.
Yeah, the turnovers, I think, just absolutely hurt the Panthers there. They were moving the ball on that first drive until the fumble. The interception came with a first down throw, but boy, they were moving the ball in their third possession, and you started to think at 14-7, Miami Trace might make this a game, but their offense tends to get a little bogged down every now and then. Here goes LeBeau once again. Boy, around the left side. That's a first down run right there, and yet again, tough to bring down, but he does get the first down. And that'll stop the clock for a moment as Miami Trace trying to yet again get a score before the half.
And I'll tell you, that was a good fill. Linebackers came through, scraped down in the middle, and this time they wrapped them up. They did not get overextended. And I like to see when Newsom came down, he really scraped well, made that hard hit. But the key to that is he's a wrestler.
Exactly. He knows, he knows to do it.
When you're a wrestler, I mean, it's just a whole different mentality.
It is.
And you love those guys playing linebacker, defensive line.
Yeah, Dylan and Newsom. He's only a junior, too, so he'll be back next season, which is great to see. This is now Weston Melvin looking deep. And, boy, he's got a man wide open. That is Landon Cope, one of his favorite receivers. That is a long gain, and that is not going to make Brad Birchwood happy. You can see him on the sideline saying, what are we doing, boys? That is good for a more than 40-yard gain as Miami Trace now all the way up to the Hartley 32.
Now, I'll tell you what, Daniel Tucson got his today, too. So you had the big guy from Trace, the right tackle, had a heck of a block right there. Daniel slipped a little bit, and the guy laid on top of him and said, oh, you're not going anywhere right now. And Daniel said, hey, man, we're good. I'm good. Let's just lay here for a second, rest.
Clock is rolling, though, as we are at 1:05 and counting. Miami Trace does have 2 timeouts they can use as they try to get points before the half. 3 wide to the left and 1 on the right. Melvin claps his hand. Snap comes to 53 seconds to go. Rolls to the left. He is going to throw. That pass is complete. First catch for Garrett Guest, 6'3" wide receiver. Gets out of bounds. That'll stop the clock with 48.5 seconds.
Yeah, and that's all they can do. They have to roll left. That's the best thing they can do. But the issue is when you go left and you complete it, now your left-hand side is on the short side of the field.
No kidding.
Now you have to go right.
Yep, and the trips are to the right this time. And it'll be timeout from Bishop Hartley as Brad Birchwood wants to talk it over with his squad, doing whatever they can to keep the Panthers from reaching the end zone one last time here in the half. Been an entertaining first half, that's for sure. Hartley's offense obviously clicking. The defense has shown some warts at times as they've allowed Miami Trace. It's now their 3rd drive that they've gotten down the field fairly easily. But you're still seeing plenty of pressure from the defensive line for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And, well, the thing that impresses me the most is Hartley's offensive line has really come out to play, right? Yeah. So their center is really doing a good job making the calls out there. Very great technician. He's a small guy, but a great technician, and he has great angles. And when you see big guys moving, and you look and there's like a little guy on your hip, that's when you know it's over.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, this battle of the trenches is what always seems to win football games, and in this game especially, you're seeing at Hartley it's the absolute difference there. Their offensive line manhandling the Trace defensive line as it shows in the 42-7 score line. So here we go. We have 2 on the right, 2 in the backfield, 1 on the left for Weston Melvin, who is going to pitch it to LeBeau, and he's going to throw the ball. He is looking deep, and he's got a man double covered out there, and that ball is caught. Oh, both the Hartley defenders somehow snuck behind him. But they're calling pass interference, so the flag was thrown by the official, so that catch is for naught, and it'll be offensive pass interference. Wow. It's a little trickery there for Miami Trace, and it would have worked, but that is Ashton Connell who pushed off one of the defenders to grab that ball, and boy, that really hurts.
Yeah, when you're in double coverage like that, and the quarterback throws it in double coverage, he had plenty of time, and it looked like it was a dedicated route to that specific kid.
Yeah, the ball was underthrown, and normally when you see that, actually, it seems to be defensive pass interference called, but in this case, he pushed the defender out of the way so he could get to the ball.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good 50-50 ball.
Yeah. If anything, he should just let the defender maybe run into him, but instead it leads to a 15-yard penalty. 2nd and 20 now from Hartley's 42. The pitch goes to LeBeau. He is going down the right side. Boy, he took a hit there. or maybe he delivered it, and I'm not exactly sure, but it's a 6-yard gain as the clock is rolling inside 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's real good football right there when you deliver the hit and take the hit at the same time. Oh, man.
So Miami Trace deciding not to call timeout here. They do have 2. We are inside of 16 seconds. Again, they're down 42-7 at Hartley's 37. Seems like they're trying to get a play in here quickly, but again, not calling timeout. Melvin dropping deep and now throwing a high one. This isn't going to get very far, and there are nothing but Hawks in the way, and that is going to be picked off. That is picked off, and then it's pitched. Oh, that wasn't the best decision. That will fall to the ground, and Hartley will indeed keep possession, but it doesn't matter. That is the end of the half. I don't think that's what Brad Bertrand wanted to see there. It could have been a little dicey.
You don't need a Hail Mary on
No. But all's well that ends well. That brings us to halftime. Bishop Hartley 42, Miami Trace 7. Entertaining first half here at Jack Ryan Field. Your halftime festivities are on the way. You are listening to Hartley Hawk Radio.
Here at Ohio Athletic Performance, we have truly aligned our passions with our path and our purpose for why we are here. The vision for our company is to be able to influence and impact other people so they have the ability to reach the heights of their genetic potential, whatever that is. We train a wide demographic of individuals, all the way from young athletes to full-grown adults. We choose the things that we program very intentionally. And beyond the physical preparation that we offer people, for us it really is about the development of the holistic person, to be able to identify the things that they need, maybe unbeknownst to themselves, and then being able to bridge the gap for whatever it is that they want in their life, or what they aspire to have, or where they say that they want to go. So for us, we have aligned our passions with our purpose, and we know that we're on the proper path. And now what we're trying to do is facilitate that opportunity for everybody else to do the same.
We take physical preparation incredibly serious here at Ohio Athletic Performance. It's something that we pride ourselves on, whether it be athletes or adult clients. It's something that we want to make sure we're providing to the best of our ability. We want to make sure it's orthopedically safe. If they need rehabilitation, that's something that we can provide for them. And as Coach Trapp said, we're always intentional with everything we do, and we want to take the right steps to give that person exactly what they need.
From the adult perspective, the 3 things we see: a sense of community, improved health, and a great outlet.
We are intensely passionate about what it is that we do and the service that we offer, and we would love for you to come join our community.
Can you see yourself working on TV, radio, or social media? As media professionals, we make our voice heard. Call the Ohio Media School and be a part of something bigger than you and me. You'll train and get the skills you need to work in TV, radio, social media, film, and much more.
I graduated and now am working as a director of marketing at a local radio station. My future is set.
Call the Ohio Media School now and be a part of something bigger. 614-723-9675. 614-723-9675.
The Lance and Eileen Porter Foundation is a proud partner with the Ohio Media School and Score on Air Network. The foundation has provided food and other essentials to families in Columbus's Northeast Quadrant since 2018. They've also established the Porter Athletic League, which provides a safe environment for youths 8 to 13 to play sports, study, and work with volunteers from the Columbus Police and Franklin County Sheriff's Departments. For more information, visit lanceandeileenporterfoundation.org today. Welcome to Hartley Football Game Day. It's being brought to you by Hutta and Price Orthodontics.
Have you ever looked forward to going to any type of a doctor? Well, neither have I, but let me tell you, I do look forward to seeing Doctors Hutta and Price when I go to their practice. You know why? Well, it's as Dr. Hutta says. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And at Hutta and Price Orthodontics, you will know that they care from the very first visit. To find out the services that they provide or to set up a consultation, just go to their website at lovethatsmile.net.
What is your favorite Halloween candy?
Ooh, I would say my favorite Halloween candy would have to be Butterfingers and candy corn. I have two.
And then what are you going to be dressing up as for Halloween this year?
I think this year for Halloween, I'm going to be a lollipop.
Okay, what is your guys' favorite candy?
Reese's. Snickers.
And then what are you going to be dressing up as for Halloween this year?
The Mandalorian. Batman.
What is your favorite Halloween candy?
Snickers. Kit Kats. Twix.
And then what are you going to be dressing up as for Halloween this year?
Squid Game employee. A Disney princess. Wanda from Wonderland.
And then what is your favorite Halloween movie?
Hocus Pocus.
Halloween Town.
Halloween Town, sure.
What is your favorite Halloween candy?
My favorite Halloween candy is Reese's. Mine is Skittles.
What are you guys dressing up as for Halloween this year?
Scooby-Doo. I'm also going to be Scooby-Doo.
And then what is your favorite Halloween movie?
My favorite Halloween movie is Hocus Pocus. Mine is Halloween Town.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Hawk Highlights. My name is Simon and I'm one of the hosts. We had an awesome homecoming week that just got wrapped up. Here are some of the updates on the door decorating competitions and the winners, and also on homecoming king and queen. Thank you, Hawks, for working so hard on your door decorating competition. I'm here to announce the winners just in case you missed them. In A Wing, we had Mr. Krieger's group win. In B Wing, we had Mr. Revelis' group win. In C Wing, we had Proface's group win, and her lovely door is right here. And then in D Wing, we had Mr. Trimmer's group win. Also, in Art Wing, Mr. Geisler's group won. Good job, Hawks. The Bishop Hartley community would like to extend a warm congratulations to the 2021 Homecoming King and Queen, Malachi Penn and Peyton Moore. Congratulations.
What a fun time we all had at homecoming. Hartley's had a lot of interesting events going on the past 2 weeks, such as our 8th grade visits. We've seen St. Pius, Holy Spirit, St. Catherine, and more schools are to come check out our school.
Hello everybody, today I'm here with Stuart Landry, and today he's going to be telling us about the fall production because he is a member of the drama program. So what is this year's show?
So this year's show is Peter and the Starcatcher. It's kind of like a prequel to the real Peter Pan. It gives some background to, how Peter gets his name and the relationship between Captain Hook and Peter and Molly and all the other characters.
That's so cool. What character do you play?
So I play Prentice, one of the orphans. He's like a fearless leader, but deep down he knows he's not a true leader. But, he's kind of the comedy relief of the show, and it's really fun to play.
That's so fun. Who would you say is doing a really great job with the play so far and like to give a shout out to?
Oh my gosh, that has to be Henry Riesebeck. So he plays Captain Hook. By far the hardest role to play, and he is killing it right now. It is so fun. He's he's so good.
Do you have a specific funniest memory of the cast?
I would say, so this is actually my favorite line in the cast. So we have giant crocodile, Mr. Grin, and one of my favorite lines is Henry going up and saying, "Whoa, big croc." That's basically, and then he runs up and screams. Oh my gosh, that has to be my favorite memory in the entire cast.
We cannot wait to see this show. Where is the location for this show?
So normally we have our shows at the Shed Theater, but this year we're having them at Ohio Dominican. So it's a little bit away, but we're having it at a theater there.
And the date and times for the shows will be?
So the dates will be from October 28th to October 31st. From 7 to around 9 p.m. So it's very important to know we're not doing pre-sales this year, so you'll have to come with cash or check to buy there.
Thank you so much for sharing this information. We cannot wait to see you star on the stage and hope to see you there at the play. Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you for having me.
Wow, I cannot wait to watch the play. Also, Hartley's open house is coming up. This is an opportunity for our school to showcase to all the other families what we have to offer and why we are a great fit. Please check in with your moderators and other teachers to understand how you can help out, especially ambassadors.
Hello Hawks, today I'm here with Miss Hartley, who is our house dean, and today she's going to be telling us a little bit about the Day of Faith and Service. So how would you describe the day in general?
Yeah, so a few years ago, probably like 5 years ago now, we decided that it would be neat to take a whole day and allow our students to have the opportunity to do service projects in their mentor groups, but then also do some service learning throughout the day. So it's kind of evolved over the years, and we have it organized we start with Mass, because it's on November 1st, which is a holy day of obligation for the Catholic faith, and so we celebrate Mass together as a community. The students will come in a little bit later, so the students will arrive around 9:30, and then we start Mass around 10, and then after Mass it's kind of a 3-session rotation. So as a mentor group, you will do a service project. You'll also watch a movie that'll kind of allow you to kind of look at maybe our faith in a different way, and then this year we've added a house competition at the end of the day, which is focused on saints as well, because it's All Saints Day. So we're doing kind of a little fun house competition at the end of the day, again with your mentor group, but all the houses competing against each other.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So previously, I think students, upperclassmen, and teachers will remember that this day was previously called the Day of Prayer and Service.
Mm-hmm.
So why is the name changed to Faith this year?
Yeah, so we kind of realized that obviously we have 6 pillars, and one of our pillars is faith and not prayer, and so we were like, oh, we could tie it into our pillars to make it a little bit more clear, because prayer is obviously an aspect with Mass, but then we, again, as it evolved, we kind of saw that there's different ways to embrace your faith and learn about your faith, so that's kind of one of the aspects of the day as well, to kind of see how your faith can be something that calls you to action. So service is tied into it with the service projects, but then also how our faith calls us to be more active in our communities and in our environment that we're in. So shifting to then also, we are hoping to do a day of preparation and community, which would be 2 other of our pillars later in the year, if we're able to kind of get that coordinated. We had plans for it, but then spring of 2020, it kind of got changed. So we're hoping to kind of keep that pillars connected in what we're doing with the house as well.
How will we be grouped throughout the day?
Yeah, so you guys as a mentor group you have been able to submit your top 3 choices of what service project you'll do. And then this year in particular, because of some of our restrictions still, we're staying mostly with our mentor groups. So you'll do a movie with your mentor group, you'll do a service project. Some of them will be in their mentor groups, depending on what service project you're doing. Others of them will be either in the TAC or outside, depending on which project your group is signed up for. And then the lunch is kind of like balanced out, so you'll be going to lunch with different people than you normally go to, but we tried to kind of even it out over the A, B, and C sections, and then at the end of the day, the house competition will be with your mentor group again. So this year, it's a lot kind of with the mentor group rotating together.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And you mentioned how students would be coming later in the day. What time should they arrive to school?
Yeah, so we have a 9:30 start time for students. So we want to be in our mentor groups by 9:30, and then we'll start with Mass after that, after attendance and things.
And you said that was a dress down day as well?
Yes, it's going to be a dress down day that we're hoping that kids will wear their either house polos or a house shirt, so they can kind of like identify themselves as their house throughout the day as well. And they will receive 3 hours of service. So because you're doing stuff that is service learning and service, like direct service to the different organizations that we've signed up with, we allow you guys to have 3 hours of service if you're here during the day, so that can help with your service turn-in for the first 10 hours that you need to have turned in.
Yes, our first 10 hours for all students will be due on November 8th. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing what this day will be about. We're really excited. Looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it.
All right, Hawks, today I'm here with Ella Brandewee. She's a junior and a volleyball player here at Hartley. So Ella, when did you start playing volleyball?
I started playing, I always played volleyball in grade school, just for St. Catherine. But I started taking it seriously probably 6th grade, playing club and stuff. So.
Got it. What position do you play?
I'm a middle hitter, so in the front.
Nice. What's your favorite thing about the Hartley volleyball team?
I think just the culture, and we're all super close. It's just always fun, and everyone's super determined all the time, always wanting to get better. So I think that's probably my favorite part.
What's been a highlight of your season so far?
I think it's been actually really hard just because everyone's been gone or we're young, so it's just maturing and stuff. But I think just watching us grow has been my favorite part, and like preparing for tournaments, because I think we can go really far and we started already. So I think just when I got back, my favorite part was just seeing how everyone like grew while I was gone. I think that was my favorite part.
And recently, you just traveled to Mexico for a tournament. Tell us a little bit about your experience and what team were you on?
Yeah, so I got to go to Mexico to compete for Worlds, like for the Youth USA team. And I think overall it was like a lot, just like my body was stressed, my mind was stressed, just because, you know, not a lot of people get to go through that, and it's just a lot. So, but overall, like it was like undescribable, just what I got to go through, competing for like my countries. Not a lot of people get to do that, and you know, it's just like again, like I can't even explain it. Just doing my favorite thing in the world, playing volleyball, and get to like show it to my world, like to my country. So yeah. I think, and just like competing against the best people in the world was super cool. But.
Yeah, it's truly amazing. So now we just found out you committed to Ohio State. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I had like it down to 3 schools, and I decided Ohio State just because it's always been my home, and I kind of always knew that like I wanted to go there, but I kind of wanted to like test the waters with other schools just to make sure. But yeah, I think it's just always been my home. Like I grew up there. My dad went and played basketball there, and it kind of came down to like the people and the coaches, and I think just the loyalty that Ohio State has always shown me since like 8th grade. So I was like, yeah, this is for sure my home, and just getting to like play for my people is something that I really value too, and I think that's why I chose Ohio State.
Yeah, congratulations on all your achievements. You're truly inspiring and a great role model here at Hartley, and good luck with the rest of your season.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Hawks. Happy Halloween, Hawks. Thanks for tuning in on our episode.
Thank you for all the support on our first episode, and we can't wait to see you again.
The following is a broadcast produced and starring students from the Ohio Media School's Columbus campus and their sports program, Score on Air.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of That's Debatable. I'm Will Ward, alongside.
It's your boy, Jer.
And before we start off with this show, got to take care of a little business. My man Ryan, go ahead and roll the clip.
It's a clip.
Here we go. Be Cincinnati fan after the season is over with.
I like what y'all doing, bro. I like what the Bengals is doing. Y'all just not there yet, and y'all definitely won't be there for week 1. Like, that's for sure.
I'm sure you got a Vikings hat somewhere. I got plenty of these Cincinnati hats, man.
I got a Vikings hat at the crib.
Losers got to wear the hat the next show, that Monday. You know what I mean?
All right.
So I'll bring you a couple choices that you're going to have to wear.
Hold on.
Get in his bag, but they won't be in their bag, though. You know what I mean? Bringing out props. They're going to have to bring out a lot more. Who knows right now? All right. So, we seen that to hit your sound, man.
We got proof. We got proof. We got him on camera.
Like I already said, man, we was in our bag. We did what we had to do. You see he's still rolling the footage. We're going to go ahead and take care of this little bit of business. Cincinnati did what they had to do, so going to let my man go ahead and just take his.
Bring him out. Bring him out.
Bring him out. let him take his choice.
Oh,
man.
my goodness,
You
Willie.
feel me? I want him to have a nice plethora, a nice variety. Let him see which one he wants.
Which one?
Yeah. Like feel like the draft day. You know what I mean?
If we got any Bengals fans out there that need a new lid, hit your boy Will with the style, man.
Hey. Swag on deck all day.
All right, man. I guess
where should I stop?
We gonna have some more bets for sure, man.
Where should I stop? Nobody knows. Number 1 draft pick. Shout out to my man Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, Joe B, and the rest of the Bengals, man.
You can't even really tell it's a tiger on the hat, man.
Can you see yourself working on TV, radio, or social media? As media professionals, we make our voice heard. Call the Ohio Media School and be a part of something bigger than you and me. You'll train and get the skills you need to work in TV, radio, social media, film, and much more.
I graduated and now am working as a director of marketing at a local radio station. My future is set.
Call the Ohio Media School now and be a part of something bigger. 614-723-9675. 614-723-9675.
If you've ever dreamed of a career in the sports production industry, your dream could come true. The Ohio Media School is enrolling their next sports emphasis class soon. You'll learn about all the different aspects of what goes into the broadcast that you watch or listen to. Go from behind the scenes to the front of the camera. You'll also get hands-on opportunities to practice your skills through the Score On Air network. Call the Ohio Media School at 614-655-5250 or visit beonair.com/Columbus. The Lance and Eileen Porter Foundation is a proud partner with the Ohio Media School and Score On Air Network. The foundation has provided food and other essentials to families in Columbus's Northeast Quadrant since 2018. They've also established the Porter Athletic League, which provides a safe environment for youths 8 to 13 to play sports, study, and work with volunteers from the Columbus Police and Franklin County Sheriff's Departments. For more information, visit lanceandeileenporterfoundation.org today.
Hi, this is Bob McElligott for Hutta and Price Orthodontics. Have you ever looked forward to going to any type of a doctor? Well, neither have I, but let me tell you, I do look forward to seeing Doctors Hutta and Price when I go to their practice. You know why? Well, it's as Dr. Hutta says. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And at Hutta and Price Orthodontics, you will know that they care from the very first visit. To find out the services that they provide or to set up a consultation, just go to their website at lovethatsmile.net. The Lance and Eileen Porter Foundation is a proud partner with the Ohio Media School and Score On Air Network. The foundation has provided food and other essentials to families in Columbus's Northeast Quadrant since 2018. They've also established the Porter Athletic League, which provides a safe environment for youths 8 to 13 to play sports, study, and work with volunteers from the Columbus Police and Franklin County Sheriff's Departments. For more information, visit lanceandeileenporterfoundation.org today.
And welcome back to Jack Ryan Field as we are about 2 minutes away from halftime. Bishop Hartley leading Miami Trace 42-7. First thing I'm going to do is apologize to all the Miami Trace folks who I said their record was 3-7. I meant 7-3. Said that about 10 times. That's just mean. Sorry about that. Anyways, I want to talk about Hartley's championship Saturday. Boy, what a day for the Hawk athletic teams here. First off, cross country has the regional championship. That happens at Pickerington North at noon. With volleyball, district championship, the ladies at Licking Heights, that's at 4 o'clock. Also at 4 o'clock, the district championship in girls soccer. Hartley taking on Olentangy, or going to play at Olentangy Orange. And the boys soccer team with the district championship at Worthington Christian at 7 o'clock. Busy day for Hartley athletics. A lot of regional and district championships on the line. A championship Saturday for Bishop Hartley athletics all tomorrow. But tonight it is all about the Hartley football team. 42-7 right now. And what a first half it has been. Randall Sampson joining me here. And offensively, they're 6 for 6 on their drives. Defensively, they stood up pretty well. What was your takeaway from the first half?
Well, Matt, first half it's, you could see the speed out there on display with the kids. Very well coached, technique is sound, play calling was great. I want to see that defense tune it up a little bit more on the corners and the perimeter with the defensive backs, because sometimes you get a little comfortable because you just know your defensive line got it taken care of, so you kind of get a little comfortable. But all in all, it's, they are who we thought they were.
Yeah.
when they showed up, they got monsters up front, they got speed in the back, and they got linebackers that come with mean intentions. I mean, what more could you ask for in a football team?
Absolutely.
And that's just part of the DNA. So this football team is just a subset of what Hartley is about. So this championship weekend that you're talking about, your girls volleyball team has an All-American volleyball player and 2 other potential All-State players on that same squad.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. So you're going to go watch that. Then you have a traditional powerhouse in cross-country that's made a resurgence in the girls' cross-country team. Now you got that option to go see.
Yep.
Then you have 2 soccer teams, both boys and girls.
Girls soccer team just knocked off the top seed, too.
Yeah. So this is just a subset on display of what this is about. And when you walk the halls of Hartley, I just walked in there. I went down to the chapel at halftime, had some solitude back down there. But on the wall, you can see the different houses and all the points for the houses. Everything's a competition at Hartley.
It's a competitive culture, and it's one about winning as well. And obviously, football team doing its part winning. The clock is going to roll because it is more than 30 points in the second half, so this could be very quick. So if you notice the clock rolling even during change of possession, things like that, that is why. So 11:40, and the clock will continue to roll as Hartley will get the ball at the 25-yard line. Again, Hartley coming in on a 6-game win streak in this first round of the playoffs. Again, these are expanded playoffs for the first time in Ohio High School Athletic Association history. 16 teams from each region make it. That means 64 teams in each division take 6 wins to win a state championship. And Hartley well on its way to getting that first win. We shall see how many of the starters play in this second half. And it looks like right now all of them are in, as Peyton Underwood is going to take the snap. Trayvon Saunders is next to him, and that's who the ball goes to. He's going up the middle, and he is on his way for another touchdown. This one will be 73 yards, his second of the game. Excuse me, his first of the game, but his 16th of the year. Boy, 48-7, just like that.
So, Matt, I was just in the locker room talking to Trayvon. I said, hey, what you got coming up this second half? He said, I'm just going to let the game come to me. It looked like he took the game away.
Just like that.
Right, just like that. That's that. So I asked him point blank. I said, are you still running that 4.3 speed? He said, yeah. I said, are we going to see it? He said, I'll turn it on every now and then. I think he turned it on.
Oh, man, just trying to make you look good is all he's trying to do.
That's the part
that's hard to do.
Oh, yeah, this is what college coaches drool over, because you cannot coach that level of speed, that breakthrough. Man, this is amazing watching this kid play.
It really is. He's had such a great year. And like I said, I think he's the front runner for Division III Player of the Year. We'll look for those accolades a little bit later. But for now, the kick is up from Alex Gabriel, 49-7, and the Hawks come out on fire. This is the third drive, if I'm right, that they've scored on just one play.
Absolutely.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. with an average of each of those 3 plays, average is probably, 60 yards now?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. So that's Saunders first. Sherrod Bowens has 1. Niall Johnson has 3. Deontay Hubbard has 1. And Richard Kinney has 1. Those are your 7 touchdowns for the Hartley Hawks, who now lead 49-7. It has just been an absolute clinic on offense for them through the air and especially on the ground. The offensive line just gotten all the push and has every hole necessary. It's just been impressive.
And that clinic starts with the center, Schaefer. He just clears out that middle with great technique, making sure everybody's communicating on the inside, and then you get the lion's shares as everybody sees the ball. Everybody sees everything on display. They don't see the offensive lineman grinding it out. So kudos to those guys in the middle.
Yeah, 100%. I have a flag here on the kickoff, going to be offside on the Hawks. A little eager to get down the field. Can't blame them. Just want to get those wind sprints in.
So this is part of the competitiveness we're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody in the stadium knows the kicker's going to kick it out of the stadium.
We're doing it all game.
So, but these guys, they all want to be the first ones down there to compete against each other and get better every play.
Yep. And, as much as you hate to see those penalties, if you're Brad Birchfield, there are certain penalties that these don't hurt you too badly, right? These are effort ones that you like seeing the extra effort, which is why you see the flag thrown. not that laziness. So
now, if my calculations are correct, Matt.
Oh boy.
I do believe there is a method to this. So I just want to see the kickoff here. I want to see if my method actually worked.
Let's see.
Let's
Alex
see if it
has
worked.
kicked it deep, and he had to get it to the end zone.
Oh, he got it to the end zone. See, my calculation was these guys are like, hey, we're up 49-7. So if we keep scoring, we got to keep running down and keep kicking out the back end. I'm going to jump off sides, give myself a chance for them to return it so I can get a tackle and say, hi, Mom, on the camera.
I mean, that's one way of putting it, but no, I don't. No.
Oh, man, we used to do that all the time.
This is the new day.
This
is the new day. It's not the 90s anymore.
No. Even the 90s, we'll say, hey, let's get a 3-and-out on offense.
Yeah.
So we can get back on defense and hit people.
Well, that I like, though. I mean, that makes sense. That's that competitive nature.
Like, we don't want to get a first down. We want to punt the ball so we can get back on defense and hit people.
Well, you were a defensive guy, though. I mean, you.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah. So Miami Trace with the ball. Panthers down 49-7. And the first play is a handoff up the middle. And, oh, boy, this one may go to the house. And who else but Jaden LeBeau. 80-yard touchdown run. He's been stellar all night long, and you can see why, again, Hartley focused so much on him. But this time they let him out of the gates, and he was off and running for 80 for a touchdown.
And there's that speed that was very much talked about. And this is why this kid has 16 touchdowns, now 17 on the season. And we saw this the whole first half.
Yeah.
He just couldn't break loose. You could see the athleticism. You could see it. He's trying to get to that corner, and now he just went straight downhill, found that lane, and went.
This is the first time he's gone that long, too, up the middle, too. That's the first time he's been loose inside the tackle. It's an 80-yard touchdown run. Again, he came in with 1,650. Obviously, that puts him well over 100 now. And, again, 17th touchdown for him. The extra point is up and good from Zach Warnock, and nicely done by Miami Trace. Yes, they are down 49-14, but you got to feel good about getting a touchdown like that when you're down by that much.
Absolutely, and that builds your program. That gives a little bit of confidence in your program. Nobody wants the running clock put on them second half.
No.
So it's almost like the walk of shame when that happens, right? But these kids are scrappy and they keep fighting. So kudos to their coach for building that culture where they're gonna continue to fight. And kudos to their fans. Their fans are still here. They traveled. Mom, dad, uncles, cousins, friends, they're all still here watching, cheering, being very supportive. And that's what high school sports is all about.
Yeah, I mean, when you see that running clock sometimes, it's a point of pride to get it back inside where you can keep the clock stopped inside at 30 points. And for someone like Jaden, this might be his last football game with the Panthers. So you want to go on a high note, and that's a great way to do it. There's a memory he'll have for the rest of his life, scoring an 80-yard touchdown in the playoffs against this Hartley defense. So 49-14, 9:24 left. We'll get that clock started fairly soon here. And, again, we are in a running clock situation with 35-point lead for Hartley. And, again, if it's outside 30.
I can guarantee you'll have that 80-yard run on his huddle profile.
I'd hope so. I hope so. I mean, if this kid's not getting offers all over the place, I don't know why not, because he's an absolute gamer. Kickoff return here from the Hawks, and boy, the stop-start is just fantastic. That is Richard Kinney. I'm pretty sure it's hard to. I tell you, I love these jerseys, Randall. It's so hard to read the numbers sometimes. From distance,
the numbers almost need to be white, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, I know they're outlined in white, but
yeah, they need to be solid white.
Yeah.
Matt, I mean, you've got the deep pockets. You can afford to purchase new unis for the team, right?
Yeah.
So now we're on TV live, and people are hearing Matt Barnes is going to donate new uniforms for the football team as they make it to Birchfield Thursday. So you're saying if they make it to Thursday, Thanksgiving Thursday practice, the team gets new uniforms sponsored by Matt Barnes.
I will gladly buy them a pumpkin pie or two. I don't know about new uniforms exactly, but I hope they do make it to Thanksgiving Thursday.
Oh, come on, Matt. You got plenty of Bitcoin laying around.
Oh, no, I don't. Here's the pass from Underwood over to Joseph Wooten, the sophomore, getting the pass completed. I got a 7-yard gain.
And I want to see this young kid develop. Number 44, Joey Wooten, and he has the famous 44 number on here, Hartley, that has a lot of pride. So he looks to be the next in that great lineup of running backs here at Hartley. But he's young, but he's a big young. So experience, he's young, but he's physically developed and is going to be a great one. And giving him this kind of experience in a playoff game is crucial.
Yeah, he's only a sophomore. I mean, you know the talent is absolutely bright for him. And now here's a pitch to Deontay Hubbard, and he will rumble his way for about 7 yards and a first down up to the Hartley 45-yard line. As we're starting to see some of the second-string offensive guys who still get a lot of playing time, but maybe not this early in the game, starting to get the rock and getting some PT here in the playoffs. And you may need these guys later in the playoffs. You never know. Injuries happen and situations happen where these guys need this invaluable playing time.
Yeah, and that was just your student body right into the boundary, quintessential Hartley play. Let's throw all the people down there on the line and figure out if we can push them.
7:30 and counting now here in this third quarter. Underwood handing it off to Hubbard, and Hubbard goes off to the left side. Nice little jab step to the left. That's good for 3 yards. As the Panther defense brings him down there.
Ooh-wee. And I tell you what, I thought I saw what I thought I saw, but my eyes reaffirmed it on the replay.
And that is?
Murphy came through, number 75, and did some house cleaning. That is a big, big man finishing up the play all the way to the whistle. It was totally legal, but he drove his guy right into the ground and made double pancake out of him, and that's what this offensive line does. They're nice and nasty.
Talking about senior lineman Avion Murphy, 6'4", 295 pounds. Yeah, that's some nasty coming at you. Underwood now with the simple pass here to Hubbard. Boy, Hubbard looking good on this drive. There's a nice pass and catch, and nice yards after the catch as well, getting it all the way up to the Miami Trace 32. That's a good 20-yard something gain, and Hartley moving the ball once again.
So you're up 49-14, simple little play here. Here's Anthony Murphy running down the field, number 75, running down the field. Big block at the end, continue to go all the way to the whistle. When the game's, for all intents and purposes, over, but these guys, they compete every single play.
Well, I mean, it's a playoff game. You don't want to let up now. Just because you see the score is a little bit out of reach. If you're in the game, you're going to give it 100%, and this is how you earn playing time for later in the year or next year.
And, Hartley has a rich tradition of playoffs. Mm-hmm. So these guys don't take it for granted. Every snap counts for them. They love the playoffs.
Yeah.
Usually if you have a rich tradition, you take it for granted, like I want to take a playoff. No, they keep going.
Absolutely. Here's a handoff this time, and that's a really good gain. That's going to be first down yardage and more for the Hawks as they move the chains one more time inside the red zone now. As that Hartley offensive line is bullying the Panthers defensive line. That's a gain of 15. And this time that's Sherrod Bowens. And again, talk about a downhill runner. That he puts his head down and look out. You're talking about a Hartley team that averages 490 yards per game, 279 of those on the ground. And they are doing that again today. Just having no problem moving the ball inside the tackles, outside the tackles, doesn't seem to matter.
No, that offensive line is doing a great job.
And there you go again. This one, 18 yards. There is a flag thrown. They called a touchdown on the field, but this will be called back due to a hold. One of those hog mollies up front, just grabbing a little bit of jersey of the Panthers. So this one will come back, even though it did end in a touchdown. And that is Avion Murphy with the penalty that time. And you get a check of the replay here.
That was slight. He has to shift his feet a little bit, and he got lost on the footwork. So the technique is something you have to work on. So that usually comes down to your first two steps. Mm-hmm. You have to have the right angle on the first two steps, and you had a quicker linebacker than what you expected, and so your steps were off, and now you're dancing with him.
Yeah.
So it's not hard to miss the big bear, 6'4", 290, wrapping a guy up and dancing with him.
Pretty easy indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, a little counter action there did not work. Great job by the Panthers stopping that one. Going absolutely nowhere with Deontay Hubbard. In fact, he probably lost a couple there, and that'll bring up second and very long for the Hartley Hawks here. It's going to be second 20. As we are at 3:48 and counting at 49-14 here in the first round of the playoffs. Bishop Hartley taking on the Miami Trace Panthers out of Fayette County.
And I'm really impressed with this Donovan Davis kid, 6'1", 250 or so, wide body. Really good feet for an offensive lineman.
Underwood has receivers on the left and the right, one man in the backfield. And the handoff given to Hubbard, and that is good for about 4 yards. Brings up third down.
And that's just your typical student body, right? Let's run the clock a little bit. Be conservative here. Keep engaging your blocks. Have some good film to study. Things for you to work on come tomorrow morning when you break down the film. see where you need to improve, because there's always place for improvement.
Oh, 100%. And now let's see it. Let's see if they're willing to put the ball in the air here. We haven't seen many throws from Peyton Underwood, especially going deep. After 3rd and 16 here. First down is all the way at the 9-yard line. Let's see if they're willing to put the ball in the air. Underwood will again do the counter. That ball was ripped out. Great job by the Panthers, who got a hand in there. And that ball is recovered by the Panthers. So the first turnover for the Hawks. And that was a counter, but the defensive lineman got in there quickly. Let's see who exactly that was. That was on a blitz. And, let's give all credit to number 44, Kylan Knapp, one of the best defenders on the Panthers, getting involved in that one.
Yeah, there was a lot of penetration on that. Once you have that penetration, it creates panic and confusion. And when you have a ball exchange, and Hartley was just basically trying to run a quick little draw in the middle and just couldn't get the timing down right.
Yeah, credit to Knapp there on that blitz. A man who has 10.5 tackles for loss coming into this game. Senior defensive end, probably playing his last game for the Panthers, and again, giving himself a memory as he forces a fumble there. And that gives the Panthers a chance to not only get their offense back on the field, but a chance to get this game within 30 points and stop this running clock. So here we go. Two on the right, one on the left for Weston Melvin. 2 in the backfield. Oh, boy, what a tackle. There's a lot going on in this play.
Yeah.
But all I know is that the Hawks have the ball, and that is
Big 77.
Yeah, big old Isaac Asidu.
6'3", 275,
Oh,
man.
my goodness. What happened here?
So that's the freak that we're talking about, right? So number 44, little Joey Wooten, the sophomore, they're getting him in there, get some experience.
Yeah.
And he also plays basketball. Mm-hmm. So he has a lot of explosion, a lot of vertical.
Yeah.
And being an athlete, he had to make a move, so he's watching the quarterback, and it's the RPO, and he comes at the quarterback, so the quarterback decides to throw it. And with that crazy vertical that he has, this kid is going to be special.
How amazing was that play? This Hartley defense, and these are some of the, not the starters, but your kind of 1B players that are out there right now, and they are getting after it, not allowing that fumble to derail the Hartley momentum. So Hartley with the ball once again on the 27-yard line of the Panthers. First play goes to Deontay Hubbard, and he runs it forward for 5 yards, bringing up second down as the clock rolls to 1:30 and counting in this third quarter. Wow, what a turn of events there.
I'm telling you, I'm so excited about this kid, Joey. I think he's going to get faster and bigger. He's a three-sport athlete, and that's what happens here at Hartley. Every season you're doing something, you're playing, you're engaged in team activity, and it's very competitive.
And again, every sport you play makes it that much better. Flags on this play as looks like Hartley jumped before the snap, and that'll bring him back 5 yards.
And when you start shifting guys around, you'll start to get the jitters with the new guys coming in, or there's a lack of communication with the new guys coming in. So it just takes a minute to settle down, and we have a running clock. So everybody's trying to get the snaps in, as many snaps as possible with this running clock.
Yeah, you can't blame some of these players. They don't get in very often in these close games. So now they want to get all their yardage, all their blocks, all their tackles, all those hits that they sometimes can't get during the week. Now they get to hit somebody else, and they want to do it. Here's the pitch to Deontay Hubbard on the right side. He's got blockers in front, and he's using them to his advantage. Wide open, pay dirt, touchdown, Hartley.
Oh, things just got a little ugly down there, Matt. And I don't mean the scoring itself, but these offensive linemen, big number 76, watch him leading through, and he's on a defensive back, and then he just cleans it up at the end. So as a running back, you have to go out there and shake the hands of your offensive lineman and say thank you.
55-14 the score now with 25 seconds left. As Alex Gabriel lines up yet another extra point. That's Hubbard's second touchdown of the game. That now gives him 13 rushing for the year. Just a fantastic campaign from him. He's one of those guys that is coming back next year. He's only a junior. Kick is up and good, 56-14, as Hartley stretches that lead now to 42 points.
And I love watching the big offensive linemen get downfield. They keep everything legal, keep it in bounds, block until the whistle, and they use their feet to move around so they're not reaching with their hands. And once you reach with your hands at offensive lineman, you start grabbing, and that's where the flags go. And we've had a pretty clean, fairly clean game with minimal flags, so everything seems to be okay.
So with 25 seconds left here in the third quarter, again, we're in a running clock, which is why it seems to be going a lot faster if you're just now joining us. But what a game it has been for the Bishop Hartley offense. Besides that one fumble that they just had and the drive before that one, they had gone 8 for 8 offensive touchdowns on their drive, so 8 for 9 for the game. It has just been an impressive feat, doing much of it on the ground. And again, why wouldn't you when you have the big hog mollies in front of you blocking the way they are? I'd keep it on the ground too. I mean, they're just getting chunk after chunk after chunk, and that means a lot of touchdowns too.
Yeah, absolutely. And just watching this big kid, Donovan Davis, 6'1", 270, offensive guard as a sophomore. So a young kid like that getting this kind of experience, he's going to be the next leader on that front line as the older guys are starting to transition out as seniors. You always want to find those new guys that come along. They can help develop that offensive line, that defensive line, be that leader along the front. So you see a young guy like that with plenty of playoff experience now.
Yeah,
so
I think
he carries the torch.
This is so valuable for down the road, whether this year or next year, to be able to get this kind of playoff experience. They wind the clock there, and that will bring it to the end of the third quarter before Miami Trace can start this next offensive possession. So 56-14, Bishop Hartley with a huge lead as we head to the final quarter of this Ohio High School Athletic Association first-round playoff game. You're listening to Hartley Hawks Radio.
Hi, this is Bob McElligott for Hutta and Price Orthodontics. Have you ever looked forward to going to any type of a doctor? Well, neither have I, but let me tell you, I do look forward to seeing Doctors Hutta and Price when I go to their practice. You know why? Well, it's as Dr. Hutta says. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And at Hutta and Price Orthodontics, you will know that they care from the very first visit. To find out the services that they provide or to set up a consultation, just go to their website at lovethatsmile.net.
The Brick League is a proud supporter of high school athletics in Central Ohio and a proud partner of the Ohio Media School. For all of your custom apparel needs, visit the Brick League at wearebrick.com and check out their amazing styles today.
And welcome back to Jack Ryan Field, where the Bishop Hartley Hawks in control from start to finish. 56-14 the score right now. Of course, this is the first round of the playoffs, so as we start to look ahead, and I think it's safe to say Hartley is likely moving on to this game. Their next game will be against the winner of London and Zanesville. London is winning that game 17-0 in the third quarter. If that score line stays the same, Hartley would travel to London. If Zanesville can make a comeback, the Hartley Hawks would travel to, or Zanesville would travel here to Jack Ryan Field. First play for Miami Trace on this offensive possession, and there goes that man again. Come on. Jaden LeBeau rushing for 31 more yards. Boy, this senior's having a heck of a final game, and the Panther black and yellow, just another rumble for him.
Yeah, and he's going to hit that spin button right there. Whoop, whoop. There he goes. And that's good for these young kids to see. So you got some young kids in there right now playing off a defensive line and linebacker, and they're getting to see a different level of speed, being in-game speed.
And we're going to stop the clock here at 11:13 as Miami Trace calls timeout. Give you a couple other scores of note among Central Catholic League teams. Granville at the half, at the last update we had, they lead Watterson 29-7, and they will face the winner of Sheridan DeSales, the 8-9 matchup, and that game is tied at 14 in the third quarter. So right now the Hartley, the only CCL team winning, DeSales tied with Sheridan. We'll see if that stays. And then Granville, who already beat Watterson in week 7, looking like they'll make it 2-for-2 against the Eagles. So.
And I really thought the Sales turned the corner there, Matt.
I did too.
When they beat Steubenville, when they went down there and beat the Big Red down there,
yeah.
I was like, oh, man, they are on a good path going into the playoffs, and now it looks like,
You know what? I saw that Sheridan team, though, play Hartley last year in the playoffs, and that is a tough-nosed team right there out of Muskegon County. So it doesn't surprise me that game's tight. But, we'll see if the Sales can pull that one out, because I know they definitely thought they'd have a season that went further than the first round of the playoffs. That is a first down run. Shocking, it is not LeBeau. That time it's Asher LeBeau. Well, so it's a LeBeau still. It's just not
not the
not Jaden.
Not the LeBeau.
Correct, yes. As it looks like Miami Trace called that timeout to get many of their subs in, as we even have a new quarterback. That is Shea Sawyer's now playing quarterback for Miami Trace, number 7. Again, the back now number 1, Asher LeBeau, the sophomore. 5'10" running back. Many of these wide receivers are new as well, as looks like Miami Trace has allowed some of their seniors to take in the rest of this game on the sideline after a great effort against this tough Hartley defense. That pass is complete to number 35. That's Riston LeBeau. There are a lot of LeBeaus on this team, I'm noticing.
There has to be some connection.
Must be some and I'm assuming there's maybe a connection to the obviously famous Dick LeBeau, graduate out of London, NFL Hall of Famer, player and coach. I wonder, because how many LeBeaus are there in Ohio that would be related to him, right?
And that's the most famous one I know.
Yeah, exactly. So that makes 3rd and 3 from now the Hartley 42-yard line. As the Panthers, again, down 42, but boy, they continue to fight here with their second teamers in here. Sawyers with the RPO, fakes a handoff. He is keeping it, holding that ball a little weird, but hey, he's got the first down. Good speed there from the junior quarterback, likely to take over as Weston Melvin graduates.
Yeah, he's holding that ball like he's Michael Vick out there, you know, just one-handing it and directing traffic and getting there and try to get that first down.
I know he's got some space there, but you want him to hold that ball.
You got to clutch it, young man. You got to clutch it.
A little better as you head to the sideline. That is good enough again for a first down, though, as the Panthers continue to march toward the end zone here with 9 minutes left in this game. Trip to the left. Sawyers is going to hand it off this time to Asher LeBeau, and he is rustled down by a couple Hartley defenders. As, again, we're seeing a lot of the second teamers in there, too.
Yeah. Well, you still have Deshaun Tucker is out there at the linebacker.
Yep.
So you could see him out there. He's directing traffic. He's the lion out there.
He's the veteran out there now,
He's the veteran. He's directing traffic. He's getting all the young guys lined up, telling them where to go and how to move because they're nervous.
Yeah.
And so you need that veteran to be out there to kind of help orchestrate some of that.
I mean, even if you're the second team, you don't want to give up points here. Yeah, the game's in hand, but there's a pride factor here. Let's stop this Miami Trace offense right here. 2nd and 9 on the 32. Man in motion, and the pitch out to number 35 once again. That's Riston LeBeau, and he is dragged down on the opposite sideline. Beautiful job by the Hartley defense, stringing that out and getting him for a loss.
Oh, that's textbook perfect how you play that RPO, stringing it out, defensive backs coming up.
That was number 57, who is not on our roster here, but let's just say that was a fantastic play by him.
Yeah, and that was 44 for Hartley that rode him out of bounds again. That's Joey.
Yeah.
Joey Wooten.
Mm-hmm. So 3rd and 12 here. Sawyers in the shotgun. And there's the pitch to Asher LeBeau. He's got a long way to go if he wants to get his first down, and he's not going to get there. Boy, there were a lot of Hawks there. 45 was there. Once again, 53. Yeah.
Man, they're getting after it.
Yeah. You're talking Evan Jackson. That's a junior linebacker. Expected to get a lot more playing time next year. So that'll bring up 4th down for Miami Trace as they try to keep this drive going. We're within 7 minutes now here in this 4th quarter of a 56-14 game.
Oh, we got a young, excited guy going. He's excited. Number 62 with the red sleeves on. Look at him. He's ready. 4th down. He's like, this is my chance. I'm in the playoffs, baby. I'm playing defensive tackle. Y'all get over here. I'm going to get down. Look at him. He's chopping his feet. He's ready to go, Matt. Oh, I want to see the big guy move. What's he going to do?
We shall see. 2 men on the left, 2 men on the right, 1 in the backfield. And we had it. Oh, and he knows it. Oh.
The big guy said, come on, man.
Yeah.
62 got through there. It was like I was ready to eat somebody up.
That was Philip Murray who jumped offside, just really excited to go get that tackle and get the quarterback in the backfield. But I'll give Miami Trace a free 5. Give you a quick update. Granville now leading Waterson 29-14 with 2:12 left in the 3rd quarter as Waterson tries to make a comeback against the Aces, the undefeated Granville Aces. That's a 1-16 matchup in the region. This is the 5-12 matchup in Region 11 in Division 3.
At the nose guard is Caleb Jackson. Number 62. Oh, he's fighting through there. Look at him.
Well, Sawyers with the pass, and that ball is dropped. Oh, the forward pass, so it is incomplete. It was intended for Corbin Melvin, the sophomore, in the slot there, and just drops the ball. So that will be a turnover on downs, and with 5:52 left, the Hartley offense will take the field, looking to either score or end this game in what is a 56-14 spread.
But, Matt, I tell you what, this just makes my heart smile. When you see a kid like Caleb go out there, he's so excited to go out there and play in a playoff game under the lights for Hartley. That level of excitement, that's what it's all about.
It is. I mean, and then exactly, your family and friends are all here. They want to watch you get into play, and And, it is a playoff game. You can always say you played in that playoff game in your sophomore, junior year, whatever it might be. That means a lot.
And he actually lined up right and made a great play. I mean, his technique was on point. He was energized. He was in there, and he did his job. And he came off the sideline and did a little jump with the coach and a chest bump. This is what high school football is all about.
Yeah, it's going to look good in film, that's for sure. First play for Hartley on this possession. Takes it all the way to the 40-yard line on that run. Again, we're getting some of the second-teamers in there now. And it's great to see that, by the way. We love seeing that.
Charlie McCall?
Yeah, Charlie McCall is one. Yep, Charlie McCall is the one who carried that ball. As Hartley, again, letting some of these younger guys get some valuable playing time.
And I want to keep an eye on Charlie. He seems to have some pretty good speed when I've seen him in practice. So he's going to be a kid that can get developed over time.
Yeah, only a sophomore. And, boy, you can never have enough speed, right? This is now 33 with the carry for Bishop Hartley. That's Gavin Feeney, a sophomore. And he gets good yardage there, 7-yard gain.
Now, Gavin Feeney's dad, Pat, was an amazing athlete. Pat Feeney was an amazing athlete, and I found out that's his son from the last game I did. I said, I could tell. I could tell the way he's moving out there. It's like his old man.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
So shout out to Pops for doing some good stuff with Gavin.
You know he is. Should say that was no gain as they still have 3rd and 3 here after that 7-yard gain on the first down play. Now here on 3rd down, Hawks trying to get the first down but stood up and only going to be about 1, maybe 2 yards there as McCall gets close to the first down line, but the Panthers stop him. So 4th and short.
Now, I don't know if Gavin has the same personality like his dad. His dad was the strong, silent type.
Yeah.
He never talked, but he was always sacking the quarterback.
Well,
he just said, I'm just doing my job.
Now, does Gavin look like Pat did at the sophomore? Or?
Pat was a big, lanky guy.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah, he's a big, lanky guy.
4th and 1. You know, Hartley would love to get this and get the first down, but they are stopping the clock because I think Miami Trace stopped them short of the line to gain. And, yes, it will be Panther ball as the Hawks unable to pick up that 4th down conversion. And so the Panthers will get the rock one more time, 3:27 to go. It looks like once again that, as we see here with 5:23 left, London is leading Zanesville 17-0. So it does look like the Hartley Hawks will travel to London next week in week 2, the second round, I should say, of the playoffs. And they're going to go in with a lot of momentum. They look good here on both offense and defense, Randall.
And that was a great stop on their defense. That's good for their program. Gives them lots of confidence going into the offseason, knowing that their young guys could do that. And my man Caleb's back in. I want to see what he does at that nose guard. I want to see him move a little bit more and really close down on this.
And I love seeing this. Miami Trace allowing another quarterback to get in here. They're going to call timeout here. Without Trey Robinette that lined up in the shotgun, their freshman quarterback, 6 foot tall, 155-pounder, about to take his first playoff snap. And again, this is what you talk about, building a program, getting that experience in the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's critical. I mean, you cannot get that. If you don't make the playoffs, you lose that week of practice. You lose all of these reps, whether they did 70 plays tonight. Those are all reps that goes into the offseason.
Yeah.
You have video, you have tape of yourself getting better. You know the experience, what it's like to come to a hostile environment.
Yep.
You know what it's like to play an elite team with elite speed, what to prepare for next year. So all offseason mentally, you know what that was like, and you're just working towards that, and that's how you improve your program.
Absolutely, and it's been a great year for Miami Trace. I mean, 7-3, given the big win over Washington Courthouse. Their losses are to quality teams. Jackson, who's winning right now in the playoffs. Western Brown, one of the top teams in the region, so no surprise there. Robinette, though, he is swallowed up by a gaggle of Hawks there, led by who else? Number 78, the big man, Philip Murray Jr.
Yeah, Big Philip was there, and then he had his help that came over. Caleb came with the cleanup. Here comes Caleb. Jump on it, Caleb.
How about that?
And that's the monster mash in the backfield.
Yeah, love to see that. So now 2:20 to go as Hartley tries to finish off what has been a dominating performance from start to finish here at Jack Ryan Field. Miami Trace with their freshman third-string quarterback now in the game. Has 2 men on the left, 2 wide to the right. The running back in the backfield is Asher LeBeau. And Asher is the one who gets it, and he is driven down after about a 5-yard gain. That's a Hartley defense once again Wrapping up and sure tackling here. You like to see that from the second teamers.
Yeah, and I like that. You got a kid out there, Gavin Leonard, number 35. He jumped on that sack as well, play ago, with the 3-people sack, and then coming right back and staying in there and making that sure tackle with that outside linebacker. So you want to see these young kids develop like that over time, and he's going to be a good one to keep an eye on. He's a very athletic kid, put a little bit of weight on him, keep being active as an athlete. His dad is a really good athlete. At least that's what his dad says. But his dad's a really good athlete.
Don't trust his dads.
No, but I think this is hopefully this will rub off on him. He's going to get a little bit bigger in the offseason.
Let's hope so. 3rd and 9 now. As Robinette getting ready to take the shotgun snap. And he does. Gives the handoff off to Asher LeBeau. He finds himself a gap, and he's ripping off a couple tackles and finds his way to a nice gain there. That's going to be 17, 18 yards for him as we're inside of a minute with that running clock. Good run from Asher LeBeau. Boy, that LeBeau name's been said a lot today, and for good reason, because they are gashing sometimes this Hartley defense.
And there has to be something in the water with the LeBeau name as well, because they just have some shifty moves.
Breeding athletes.
And I love the fact that their offensive line went down there, tapped them on the helmet, gave them a good job. And they're continuing to fight and battle. I love it.
Yeah, that's a lot of yards after contact there, and you love to see that in the game. That's a 42-point game. He gets his chance, and he goes out there and takes advantage of it. This could be the last play of the ball game here with the running clock. LeBeau gets the ball. He's up through the tackle, gets another nice gain. This one's up to, inside the 15 to the 14. That is a first down, but with the running clock, it'll keep on rolling, and looks like these teams are lining up to shake hands. What a ball game for the Bishop Hartley Hawks. They are going to win 56-14. Credit to Miami Trace. They fought, but just ran up against a tougher opponent on this night. Bishop Hartley moving on to the second round of the Ohio High School Athletic Association playoffs. And like I said, they'll likely play at London, a team they are familiar with. They have played them recently in the Brad Birchwood era in the playoffs. Your thoughts as you see Hartley with a dominating victory tonight?
Well, I think it's turnover. So moving into the playoffs, anytime you win that turnover battle is crucial. I know it's a term that's used all the time, but the reality of it at this level of play, if you go against a tough opponent, the turnovers will determine the end of the game.
We saw a lot of great players in this game, but who would you say is your player of the game? I think Trey Saunders has to be at the top of the list. Boy, he was an impact player today.
Oh, absolutely, impact player of the game. And on the defensive side, Daniel, obviously, doing his thing. When you're going against an elite D1 athlete and you come out on top of that, that's definitely on the defensive side. But Trey, as an offensive player, the explosion that he has, anytime he touches the ball, you're just like, okay, lightning's about to strike. Let's go. Let's see what happens, right? Yeah. But he's very patient with it. He doesn't overdo it. He lets the game come to him, and when he finds a seam, he goes.
Yeah, 2 more touchdowns for him today as he is adding to his fantastic season total as he, I think, again, making that march to Division III Player of the Year. 7 wins in a row now for Hartley. We move forward to London. Is this the kind of momentum you like to see as they have state championship aspirations? This team looks like they're making their way toward that. As the team is singing the alma mater now.
Kids are excited. They sing their alma mater, and they're having a good time. You know, tonight was a night of good tricks and treats, and I think Hartley came up on the positive side on that one.
They play good football, and I bet they're singing in tune and together, but darn it, they do play some good football here at Bishop Hartley High School. That's going to do it for us here at Jack Ryan Field. Thank you so much for joining us here. It is, again, final. Bishop Hartley 56, Miami Trace 14. Bishop Hartley moves to 9-2 on the season and moves forward in the football playoffs where they'll take on London next week in round 2. For all of us here, thank you so much for joining us. Have yourself a great night and a great weekend. Again, the solid brick player of the game, Trayvon Saunders, 2 touchdowns. Fantastic performance by him and this entire Bishop Hartley offense and defense. It was a fun game to watch, and looking forward to watching them next week. For all of us here, thank you so much. Have a great night.